Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to TCB alternate coverage of the FA Cup final for 2024. You wait 140 odd years for a Manchester Derby Cup final, and two come along at once. It's John Stuttard, JB here, setting the scene. Paul James is alongside me in the commentary box. We'll come to him in a few moments' time before a bye with me, but let's just build up to the game. In fact, let's just give you a bit of a rundown on the team lineups. No Ederson because of that injury sustained on the final day of the season, or at Tottenham rather, the penultimate game. So he missed out the game last week against West Ham. So Stefan Ortega, who has been the FA Cup goalkeeper the last 2 or 3 seasons, takes his place in goal. Phil Foden also starts. Erling Haaland, you will not be surprised to hear, starts as well. And of course, Phil Foden, the player of the year. Manchester United, who, if the pundits and the experts are to be believed, Erik ten Hag could be going at the end of this game. Well, that's to be debated for another day. But they spurn Marcus Rashford, who's been spurned from England duty. Bruno Fernandes starts, and Garnacho as well. And 1 or 2 on the bench there. You may Højlund, who I thought would have started today. He has to hop for a place on the bench, but they do have a lot of good talent on the bench. And Scott Carson, who must be at least 40 years old, hasn't played a game, but yet is winning medals left, right and centre. But what a fantastic atmosphere it really is. And when you look at the way Manchester City have got through, they weren't really severely tested. Probably the most severe test they had during the cup run really was that victory at Tottenham in the 4th round, where they left it very late to score late through Nathan Ake. But for Manchester United, their run has been nothing without problems. Remember the 4th round at Newport? They were in locked at 2-2, and then they went through 4-2. Then they had that problem. Then they had that epic encounter at Old Trafford against Liverpool when it was 1-0 United. Then it turned 2-1 Liverpool. Then it went to 2-2, 3-2 Liverpool. And then Amat scored the late winner to send Old Trafford into raptures. And then they had that superb semi-final with Coventry. And you feel sorry for Coventry that day, because they felt they won it in the very last seconds of extra time from 3-0 down, only to be denied by the demon VAR. But here we are. It's an all-Manchester Cup final, and it's fantastic. This is not the first Wembley occasion we're bringing to you this weekend. Of course, tomorrow afternoon there is the Championship playoff final between Leeds United and Southampton, 2 big names of Premier League seasons past. One of them will be back there by this time tomorrow afternoon. And of course, coming up as well later in the summer, the TCO will have live comprehensive alternate commentary coverage of all the games that matter from Euro 2024. Join Ross and the boys for that. On the 14th of June, the opening match will be Germany against Scotland that evening at 6:30. But an atmosphere really that was going to be superb. I'm really looking forward to this FA Cup final. Gareth Southgate there, the England manager's in attendance. I'm sure Luke Littler, the newly crowned Premier League darts champion, is in the crowd today. Well, if you saw his performance at the O2 a couple of nights ago, hit a 9 darter against Luke Humphries in the final and then won the Premier League. He's certainly come of age at 17. One of Manchester United's biggest supporters. There's Gareth Southgate. Of course, he's left Marcus Rashford out of that provisional England squad. But he's had so much attacking talent to choose from lately, it's been superb. Well, the teams are in the tunnel. The bye with me must have been and gone, because we're here now. There's Bruno Fernandes leading up Manchester United in what looks like camouflage. A camouflage tracksuit top. They're in red today. Manchester City no doubt will be in blue, as we see Sir Jim Ratcliffe there, the new co-owner of Manchester United, along with the Graziers. Just seen Sir Alex Ferguson in the background there behind Sir Jim Ratcliffe. There's Erik ten Hag, a man under pressure. There is no doubt about it. eye on. He knows the importance of this. Maybe a trophy may not well save his job at Manchester United, considering where they finished in the Premier League. It's been the lowest Premier League finish in history for them. Marcus Rashford recently left out of the England squad. Just in Prince William in the background here. We'll just wait for Manchester City to come out. I mean, it's a carnival. There's a carnival feel amongst Wembley there as we see the final. I think we are going. Are we going to have a bye with me in a second or two? We are. Let's just pause for a bye with me. That wasn't a bye with me, actually. Oh, it is going to be a bye with me now. Somebody they're doing is setting aside the centre circle there. So let's just pause and take in the cup final flavour of a bye with me. Oh, fireworks as well. That's what the FA Cup fervor is really all about. I see a red to my right. I see a blue to my left. That's what it's all about. And as we see one supporter, a female supporter of Manchester City on the left, and a male supporter of Manchester United on the right, carrying the FA Cup down the tunnel and onto the plinth, as the teams will walk past in a few moments' time for the presentation. It is absolutely superb. 700 odd teams started out on the road to Wembley back in August. And just a word before we hand over to our commentator today, that nobody, unless Sterling Haaland scores 5 goals today, can catch Jonathan Lacey of Biggleswade Town, who scored 10 during the very earlier round in the competition. Manchester City and Pep Guardiola all suited and booted in the tunnel. Only one more job for me to do before the game starts is to wish our new FA Cup final commentator, Paul James, the very best of luck. It's his first final. Give him all the support in the comment section that you can. So here we are then. It's all set up. The 2024 FA Cup final. Let's join your match commentator tonight. A very good afternoon to Paul James.
Thank you, JB. I appreciate your support there, and welcome everybody to Wembley for the FA Cup final. We just heard Abide With Me. That is the 97th time that song has been played at the FA Cup final. First started in 1927 when Cardiff beat Arsenal 1-0. Manchester United take to the field, and Manchester City too, The crowd is absolutely amazing. Red and white and blue and white flags. Just to give you some idea, this is the first time as well that two teams have actually met each other in the final back to back since 1885, when Blackburn Rovers and Queen's Park did it. Okay, let's take a look at the starting lineups today, starting with Manchester City. They have Stefan Ortega, who continues to deputise in goal, Josko Gvardiol, Nathan Ake, John Stones. Kyle Walker is the captain today. Rodri, Phil Foden, Mateo Kovacic, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and of course the ever-dangerous Erling Haaland. For Manchester United, well, they just make a couple of changes from the victory over Brighton. Andre Onana starts in goal, Diogo Dalot, Rafael Varane back from injury, Lisandro Martinez and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Sofian Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford, and the captain Bruno Fernandes, as Manchester United adopt a 4-2-2-2 formation. As Prince William, ever present there, shaking the hands of the Manchester United players. Of course, he's an Aston Villa fan. The substitutes today for Manchester City, they have Scott Carson on the bench, as JB alluded to earlier, Manuel Akanji, Oscar Bob, Ruben Diaz, Jeremy Doku, Jack Grealish, Rico Lewis, Mateus Nunes, Julian Alvarez. For Manchester United, it's Altay Bayinda, Anthony, Amad Diallo, Christian Eriksen, Johnny Evans, Rasmus Højlund, Willy Cambuala, Victor Lindelof, and Mason Mount. And we are about ready for the national anthem. So I'm just going to pause right here while the national anthem is being played, God Save the King. In just a moment here. So we wait for the national anthem, another staple of the FA Cup final. This is it's been changed, of course. It used to be God Save the Queen, but since the passing of Queen Elizabeth, here we go. God Save the King, the national anthem. The referee today making his first FA Cup final appearance is Andy Madley. He's age 40 from Huddersfield. Assisting him on the lines is Harry Leonard and Nick Hopton. Simon Hooper is in fourth official duty. And VAR is Michael Oliver, Peter Banks and Stuart Burt. And we are hoping against hope that we do not get an involvement of VAR today. With no controversy is something that we desperately want. So the road to Wembley, Manchester United, well, in the third round, they beat Wigan away 2-0. Newport away 4-2 in the fourth round. In the fifth round, they dispatched Nottingham Forest away by 1-0. And in the quarterfinals, they beat Liverpool in a topsy-turvy game that finished after extra time 4-3. And despite having the 3-0 lead against Coventry in the semi-finals, they nearly blew it. It finished 3-3 and they won 4-2 on penalties. A much more simple route to the final for Manchester City. In the third round, they dispatched Huddersfield 5-0. They beat Spurs 1-0 in the fourth round. Luton 6-2 in the fifth round. And in the quarter-final, they beat Newcastle 2-0 and Chelsea 1-0 in the semi-finals. These two teams in the FA Cup have actually met each other a considerable amount of times, only twice in the final. And they've met each other 10 times in total in the FA Cup. Manchester United have won 6. Manchester City have won 4, which included, of course, last year's final. And the only survivors from last year's final is Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Rafael Varane. Victor Lindelof, of course, is on the bench. Stefan Ortega started in goal last year as well. And of course, the staple of that side, Ilkay Gundogan, has since been transferred to Barcelona. Otherwise, it's much the same team. So the players are just making their final preparations. They're both in their traditional jerseys. Manchester City wearing their sky blue shirts, white shorts, and sky blue socks. Manchester United in their red shirts, black shorts, and black socks, as they make their final preparations as we begin the build-up for this game today. Nicholas Jones with us in the comment section. Good luck, Paul. Thanks, Nick. And Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming. Hi, JB and Paul. Another old Manchester Cup final. Yes, we're in for a good one today as the referee, Andy Madley, gathers the teams ready at the centre circle. We are just about to get ready for the 2024 FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium. Can Manchester United, with everything that has gone on this past week, including the rumours surrounding manager Erik ten Hag, pick up the victory today? Can they rise above it all? Or will Manchester City pick up another double? Well, Manchester City are about to get us underway. We're just waiting for Andy Madley to blow the whistle as Phil Foden is standing over this. And there's a bit of a delay here. The referee is just waiting at the moment. He's just making some final checks. Manchester City will be attacking the goal to our right as Phil Foden just gets the game underway, plays it all the way back to Stefan Ortega. Stefan Ortega, just outside of his penalty area, plays the ball long. Up in the air with Wan-Bissaka is Erling Haaland. It's flicked on there that time by McTominay. And knocked on to the chasing Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, can he get inside the defence here? But that is great work by Kyle Walker. Just cutting across Rashford and making the challenge and getting the ball back to Ortega, who clears the ball out again. And here's Kyle Walker once more time. He moves towards the middle of the park and lays it off to De Bruyne. Brilliant flick on by De Bruyne to Erling Haaland now. Chasing forward. He gives the ball there to Foden. Out on the far side is Gvardiol. The cross comes in. Haaland goes down and he's appealing for the penalty. He's surely not going to get anything for that. They're still appealing. I'm not sure that I don't think that was a penalty. Andy Madley is, and already we've got VAR involved. We're inside 1 minute. The cross came in from Gvardiol. There was a challenge there with Lisandro Martinez. There did not look a lot in that to me. But VAR is looking at it and they've decided that it is no penalty on that occasion. And Joe Smoke in the commentary box saying, enjoy, Paul, thank you. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming, good luck with the commentary, Paul, thanks very much for that. And the ball is played forward now and it's picked up here by Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo's ball rebounds off Bernardo Silva and goes back to Amrabat. Amrabat releases the ball there to Rafael Varane. Varane just does a quick 1-2 with Amrabat again. And just drops the ball back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka plays the ball back to Andre Onana. And he's released it now to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez, the Argentinian World Cup winner, plays the ball forward down this near side there. And it's picked up by Dalla. Dalla tries to play the ball to Mainoo, but it's a little bit far away from him, and it's won back by Erling Haaland, and he plays the ball across there looking for Kevin De Bruyne. He goes down, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. It's taken quickly. Here is Bernardo Silva. He drops the ball back into the centre circle, and it's with John Stones. John Stones plays it across the far side to Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops it back to Nathan Ake. Ake plays the ball down this right-hand side here to Bernardo Silva. Silva drops the ball back to John Stones. As once again, Manchester City will have a patient build-up here. Here goes Bernardo Silva down the right. Drops it to Kyle Walker. And McTominay just slips there but gets on his feet. And the ball there is picked up by Rodri. And he sprays it over to the left-hand side to Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops it back into the midfield, and it's back to Rodri, so vital to that Manchester City team. And he releases it to John Stones. Stones gives the ball there to Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side. It's pulled back into the middle there to Stones again, who drops it back into his own half to Nathan Ake. Ake holds the ball up and just gives the ball there now to Kovacic. Back to John Stones. Stones just looking for options left and right. He's got Bernardo Silva making a run here down the right. He finds him. Here goes Bernardo Silva. He's got two Manchester United players around him, and he drops it now to Kyle Walker. And Walker again drops it back into the centre circle to Nathan Ake. As City reset, and continue then to try to probe and find a way through this Manchester United defence. Here's Nathan Ake again. Both sides early on feeling each other out. As Nathan Ake again now picks up the ball in the midfield and gives it to John Stones. John Stones now is just looking for options left and right. And he gives the ball to Kyle Walker. Walker back to John Stones. And this is very typical Manchester City. Slow build-up play. The ball is played forward there looking for Bernardo Silva. Looks like it came off Bernardo Silva and went out for a throw-in. We have 4 minutes gone here in the 2024 FA Cup final. It is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. We've already had VAR involved in this game. And it was for a penalty appeal for Erling Haaland, which I really didn't see a great deal in. It was a quick check by VAR and deemed no penalty. Bernardo Silva drops it back to Nathan Ake. Ake under pressure there from Bruno Fernandes, sends it all the way back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. And Ortega releases it to John Stones. Stones just drops the ball back to Ake. Ake, cross there to Kovacic and given to Rodri. Rodri returns the ball to Kovacic. Just down the left-hand side there. He pulls the ball across the line of the penalty area to John Stones. It's then released to Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side. Just inside his own half is Bernardo Silva. Gives the ball to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne back to Kyle Walker now. He's in an advanced position. Walker just pulling all the way back to the centre circle. He almost played himself into trouble there. Ran into Bruno Fernandes. And it now breaks loose to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic to Rodri. Rodri to Foden inside the centre circle. And it's across now to John Stones. John Stones plays it down the right-hand side there to Kevin De Bruyne. He's moving towards the middle. De Bruyne gives it to Ake. Ake just inside the centre circle. Holds the ball up. Back to Rodri. Still inside the centre circle. It's really bizarre how Manchester City play. They just keep possession, knock the ball around. They're so patient in their build-up. And, of course, you can either press them or you can stand off and let them play. And at the moment, Manchester United are standing off and letting them play. The ball is played forward to De Bruyne. Chasing that one down is Bernardo Silva, but cutting across is Diogo Dalot. And Manchester United can get the ball away. As Scott McTominay nearly plays Amrabat into trouble there. But Amrabat manages to get the ball back to Rafael Varane, who releases it to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Bissaka over the halfway line, releases it now there to Garnacho. Garnacho drops the ball back to Amrabat, who gives the ball to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez just inside his own half, gives the ball down the left-hand side to Diogo Dalot. Here's Kobbie Mainoo in the centre circle to Bruno Fernandes. Down the right there to Wan-Bissaka. And now here's Alejandro Garnacho, proving himself to be a very effective Manchester United player this season. Varane, Martinez. And it's Manchester United's turn to keep possession right now. Here's Sofyan Amrabat. Drops the ball back there to Varane. As both sides just being very cautious early on. As here's Garnacho. Garnacho plays the ball to Varane, and Varane goes all the way back to Andre Onana. As he releases it quickly to Lisandro Martinez. And Martinez just gives the ball back to Andre Onana. And we've had 7 minutes gone here. No clear-cut chances early on as of yet. The ball is played long by Onana, looking for Rashford, but cutting across well there is Kyle Walker, the Manchester City captain. But he played his own player into trouble there. And Nathan Ake just managing to get to the ball and put the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in, and it's going to be a throw-in actually to Manchester City, and Kyle Walker is level with his own penalty area here. The England right back has obviously been put on duty of marking Marcus Rashford today, and Walker himself, of course, a very pacey player. As here's Dalot. Dalot gives it to Rashford. Rashford back to Dalot, and now here's Scott McTominay to Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the area. Played across to Garnacho. Garnacho with a first shot on goal. And it's right at Stefan Ortega. It's a comfortable save for the German. And that is the first sight at goal by either side, though, as Alejandro Garnacho swings a shot at the goalkeeper there. And if we just take a look at that one more time, it was a comfortable save, really, in the end. It was right at him, but that's our first sight at goal. Bernardo Silva. He's midway inside his own half right now, moved into a central position. Bernardo Silva just drops the ball back here to Kovacic. Mateo Kovacic, the former Chelsea player. Here's Gavardio, played forward to De Bruyne. De Bruyne sets Foden on the way, and now can Manchester City respond? The cross comes in, and Lisandro Martinez just gets in front of Erling Haaland and heads that out onto the far side, to the right-hand side. Here's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva cutting away there, crosses it to the back post. Can it be kept in by Phil Foden? No. He only manages to hit the side netting. It was a beautiful cross to the back post, but Phil Foden just couldn't get there in time. And he only successfully puts it into the side netting. And Pep Guardiola, we're looking at him there. He's the first manager to win 4 successive English top-flight titles. Another record broken by Manchester City. Another record for the great Pep Guardiola. The goal kick is going to be taken by Rafael Varane, actually, and he's just going to play it back into the 6-yard box to Andre Onana. Onana releases the ball to Diogo Dalot. Dalot just tries to play the ball over to Wan-Bissaka, but Foden cuts in and puts the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to take it as Andy Madley, the referee today, chosen for this game. It's his first FA Cup final, and best of luck to him. As Aaron Wan-Bissaka now is taking his time with his throw-in. He finds Bruno Fernandes, gets the ball back to Wan-Bissaka and puts his foot through it. Chasing it is Marcus Rashford, but cutting across is John Stones to head that ball back to Stefan Ortega. As he releases Kyle Walker now down the right-hand side. Walker has got pace and power. He drops the ball back there to Rodri. Rodri back into the centre circle to Mateo Kovacic and over to the left-hand side to Josko Gavardio. The Croatian international tries to play it into Phil Foden, but that's a good win back by Sofyan Amrabat. And Amrabat drops the ball back now to Rafael Varane, who gives the ball back to Amrabat. And it goes back to Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. He gives the ball to Lisandro Martinez, who once again returns the ball to Onana. He puts his foot through it, and comfortably winning that header is John Stones. He heads it back into the Manchester United half, and it breaks loose to Kyle Walker. Walker drops the ball back into his own half to John Stones. Here's Kovacic. Quick 1-2 with Kyle Walker. Kovacic moves into the centre circle. He's got options available both left and right. He gives the ball to Rodri. Rodri back to Kovacic. He's almost on the halfway line there. As Rodri then plays the ball down the right there to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva just moving away from Diogo Dalot. And it's now with Kyle Walker. Here's Rodri again inside the centre circle. He's got options again, left and right. He decides to take the safe route back to John Stones. Back to Rodri on the halfway line, gives the ball to Phil Foden. Phil Foden just moved into a central position now and goes towards the left-hand side to Gavardio. That's a really good ball. Gavardio releases Kovacic now, making a run forward. And it's now with De Bruyne. De Bruyne cuts in the penalty area, left-hand side. Can he get across in De Bruyne? And it's headed up into the air by Rafael Varane. And it's a good job he got on the end of that, because on the back post waiting, totally unmarked, was Erling Haaland. And so it, in the end, is cleared away by Manchester United. And here's Rodri. Plays the ball down the left-hand side again to De Bruyne. De Bruyne drops the ball back to Kovacic. Kovacic lifts the ball forward to Kevin De Bruyne, but it's far too far away from him. And Rafael Varane just cuts across and puts the ball out of play. And Manchester City will have a throw-in level with their own penalty. Level with the Manchester United penalty area. As we've had 13 minutes gone in this FA Cup final, it is still 0-0. Here is Rodri. Rodri plays the ball forward to Erling Haaland. Haaland's control let him down there, and Lisandro Martinez wins the ball, and Erling Haaland fouls him, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. And Lisandro Martinez organising his defence. I have to say, boy, the Manchester United's defence look a lot better when Martinez is in it. He steadies the defence very, very well. Rafael Varane disrupts the ball back to the goalkeeper, Onana. And Onana's clearance wasn't the best. Phil Foden nearly won that ball back. He got a touch on it. The ball's gone out of play for a throw into Manchester United. But Onana nearly played Manchester United into trouble there. Diogo Dalot with the throw. Midway inside his own half of the field. Down the left-hand side. Throws it long. Up in the air, and winning that one is John Stones. And it's picked up by Phil Foden. Foden to De Bruyne. And Foden is down injured. And we're going to have a free kick to Manchester City. Looks like there was a foul there that time. And we've got Eminem on with us today. Come on, United. He's a United fan. And, well, at the moment, Eminem, if you've been listening from the start, you know that the only shot on goal has come from Alejandro Garnacho of Manchester United. But City have certainly dominated possession in this first 15 minutes. The free kick is going to be taken by Kevin De Bruyne. Excuse me. He's standing over this one, and from these sort of positions, Kevin De Bruyne can deliver such excellent balls into the box, and Manchester United opting to play a very high line here. And it's about 5 or 6 yards outside the penalty area. The free kick is midway inside the Manchester United half of the field, as the referee is just making sure everything is in order there. As the free kick is going to be taken by Kevin De Bruyne. Is he going to go long or short? He just lifts the ball into the penalty area. The heads go up. It's headed by Varane, who just heads it out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City, which Gvardiol will go over to take, and it's level with the Manchester United 6-yard box. So I just wonder if Gvardiol is going to try a long one here. As Eric Ten Hag, I just wonder what's going through his mind, knowing that perhaps winning the FA Cup may not be enough. Really sort of the toxicity that is coming out of Manchester United. 24 hours before a major final, that this sort of rumour would come out of Old Trafford is shocking, to say the least. The throw-in is taken quickly. It bounces off Sofyan Amrabat, and Manchester City will get another go at it. Josko Gvardiol now takes a throw, and it's level with the Manchester United penalty area. He finds Erling Haaland. Haaland pulls it back to De Bruyne, and the ball is played across by Rodri to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva tried to play in De Bruyne, but that's cleared away by Diogo Dalot, and it's back into the Manchester City half as it's picked up by Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker plays it into the middle of the park to John Stones. He plays it across to the left-hand side to Gvardiol, who's brought himself into this game on a number of different occasions and certainly looks one of Manchester City's brightest sparks. The ball is played by Kyle Walker down the right-hand side now to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva cuts away from Diogo Dalot, cuts into the middle. It's across to Foden. Oh, Foden tried to play in Gvardiol, but the ball was a very poor one. And in the end, it goes behind for a goal kick. But my goodness me, that looked a promising break for Manchester City. Had Foden got that right, then Gvardiol would have been in. Today, it's a goal kick. As pacing back and forth there is Pep Guardiola, as we take a look at the Manchester City fans standing up right now. They do look a bit apprehensive at this time. Of course, the last year's FA Cup final, they won 2-1 with 2 goals from Ilkay Gundogan, being the difference in that match, as the ball is played forward by Dalot to Scott McTominay. McTominay plays the ball forward, but he only manages to find Gvardiol, who gives the ball to Ake. He does a quick 1-2 with Rodri and releases the ball to John Stones. John Stones going all the way back now to the goalkeeper Stefan Ortega, as Manchester City and Manchester United deadlocked at 0-0 with 18 minutes gone in the 2024 FA Cup final. As at the moment, Stefan Ortega has just slowed things right down here, and he's still taking his time, and finally releases the ball to Kovacic. Kovacic drops the ball now to Rodri, back to Kovacic, options left and right. He gives the ball to De Bruyne. De Bruyne drops the ball back there to Stones, and it's picked up again by Rodri. Rodri gives the ball to Kovacic. Kovacic down the left-hand side to his Croatian teammate, Gavardio. Gavardio drops the ball back into the centre circle, and Nathan Ake picks it up. Does a 1-2 with Rodri and plays the ball down the left-hand side to Phil Foden. Foden drops the ball back to Kovacic again in those bright yellow boots. And the ball is released to Foden. Foden gives the ball to Gavardio. Gavardio pulled into the middle here to Rodri. Rodri drops the ball back now to Kovacic. Kovacic to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne releases the ball there to Ake. It's now with Kovacic again. Kovacic just picks up the ball and drops it back to John Stones. It's now with Bernardo Silva. Latest score in the Scottish Cup final. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 0. We'll keep you updated with that as the day goes on. Here's John Stones. And John Stones does a quick 1-2 with Rodri as Manchester City. Tic-tac-toe passing. Here's Kovacic. Back to Ake. Ake down the left-hand side there. And it's picked up by Gavardio, who drops the ball back to Nathan Ake. Manchester United, very, very compact in the midfield, very, very compact in defence, as Gavardio tries to pick up the pass from Kevin De Bruyne, but it goes out of play, and it is 0-0. Still, it's going to be a throw into Manchester United. We've already had a comment from a Manchester United fan. Is there any Manchester City fans out there feel they need to comment? Please feel free to do so. I will read them out. Just please keep them nice and clean. We are a family show in this Manchester derby. And Bruno Fernandes just swings his foot round and puts his foot through it really. It goes into the centre circle. It's headed on by Kyle Walker, but picked up by Lisandro Martinez. Here's Mainu. Does a quick 1-2 with Rashford. Mainu tries to set off on his way. He's got options available. Gives the ball to Martinez. And that a beautiful pass outside of the boot there to Marcus Rashford. But what a great challenge. The ball still breaks loose. It was a great challenge by Kyle Walker, but the ball still breaks loose. And at the moment, it's each team are giving the ball back to each other. Finally, the ball goes back to Stefan Ortega from Nathan Ake, and he releases the ball to Bernardo Silva, who gives the ball back to John Stones. But it was a beautiful... and Ortega's in trouble here. Fernandes goes down, and that was a poor ball by Ortega. He played John Stones in all kinds of trouble there. But he got away with it. In the end, it was nearly Bruno Fernandes getting in there. It's a free kick to Erling Haaland for the foul on by Diogo Dalla. But and I think the referee is going now to talk to somebody. We're just going to take a look and see what's going on here. Because he just seems to have... He's just going to have a word with Kyle Walker over something. Kyle Walker's on his feet. He's okay. And the referee... Just take a look at this again. And we have a look here. It was Kovacic. And then Fernandes went over Kovacic. Yes, Kovacic saved that because that was a really poor ball from Stefan Ortega. Bruno Fernandes was claiming the penalty. It wasn't a penalty at all, but it was a very, very poor giveaway by Ortega. As Rodri now gives the ball back to Ake. Ake back to John Stones. Stones inside the centre circle. Gives the ball back to Nathan Ake. And here is... Kovacic gives the ball to Stones inside the centre circle again as Manchester City coming forward now. The ball is down the right-hand side by Stones to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, he loses possession, does Bernardo Silva. Careless play there. And it's a free kick. The referee choosing not to let Rashford play on as Bernardo Silva fouls Diogo Dalla there. It was poor play by Bernardo Silva. He just lost focus for a second or two and gave the ball away to Dalla. Here's Lisandro Martinez now. Gives the ball to Scott McTominay. McTominay cuts across the halfway line to the right-hand side to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka gives the ball there to Garnacho. Garnacho moves to the middle of the park and lays it off to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo to Scott McTominay. McTominay plays the ball down the right, and here's Garnacho again. He tried to work his way into the penalty area, but Nathan Ake just muscled him out of play there. Good defending by the Dutchman as he just muscled Garnacho out of play and allowed the ball to just roll over and go behind for a goal kick. 23 minutes gone here. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0, if you've just joined us. You've not really missed a great deal. Really, the only shot on goal was being by Alejandro Garnacho, which is right down the throat of Stefan Ortega. A couple of hairy moments, but Ortega giving the ball away and nearly let Bruno Fernandes in, but good work by Mateo Kovacic stopping that. And here is Kovacic now. He plays the ball down the left-hand side, and he sets off Gvardiol on his way. Wan-Bissaka's watching him. Gvardiol pulls back and drops the ball back to Kovacic again. Here's Rodri, midway inside the Manchester United half. He plays the ball down the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva making a dash for the touchline, but he pulls back instead, and he drops it back there to Kyle Walker. Here's John Stones again, and Kovacic lays it off for Stones. Stones plays the ball down the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Manchester City struggling to break down Manchester United at the moment. This compact defence and compact midfield is making it very hard for the citizens. The ball is played over down the left-hand side to Gvardiol, and he drops it back to Ake in an advanced position. Here's Rodri. Rodri gives the ball to Walker. Walker to Foden. It's Kovacic now. He's just making his way back into the halfway line, but he releases it to Foden. Back to Walker. And here's Kovacic now. Kovacic holding the ball up, gives the ball to Walker. Walker plays it down the right-hand side. Here's Phil Foden. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva now. He's got in front of him Diogo Dalot. It's played across to Foden. Foden plays it in there to Kovacic. Kovacic pulls the ball across, but there's no one there. And nipping in front of winning the ball there is Kobbie Mainoo. But that was a brilliant move by Manchester City. Fantastic football, but nobody was there to put away the final product. And, the ball is cleared away that time by Mainoo, but Manchester City win the ball back. And it's Kovacic. Gives the ball to Nathan Ake. Ake to Gvardiol. Plays it all the way back to Ake. And it's Manchester City maintaining much of the possession in this first half. And the ball is now with Phil Foden down the right-hand side. He's got Amrabat in front of him. He drops the ball back into the centre circle to Rodri. Rodri gets the ball back here. And it's now with Kyle Walker. Walker holds the ball up. Gives the ball into the centre circle, really, to Rodri. And Rodri sprays it out to the left-hand side there to Gvardiol. Gvardiol just releases it to De Bruyne. But De Bruyne's got 3 Manchester United players around him. He does very, very well to find Nathan Ake. And Nathan Ake now picks up the ball. Gives the ball there to Walker. Now Walker sets off Rodri on his way. Rodri just pulls the ball back again as Manchester City, at the moment, still struggling to break down Manchester United. And here's John Stones. Inside the centre circle, plays it over to the right-hand side to De Bruyne. De Bruyne, brilliant ball forward to Foden. Foden back to De Bruyne. He's about 30 yards out of De Bruyne. He lays the ball back to Kovacic. Kovacic back to Rodri. Rodri lifts the ball towards Haaland, and it's headed out by Lisandro Martinez and cleared away by Bruno Fernandes back into the Manchester City half. But that again is a really good move by Manchester City. Good football. But once again, Erling Haaland was stopped in his tracks by more excellent Manchester United defending. Here's Foden. Foden inside the centre circle. Is he brought down there by Bruno Fernandes? The referee has said yes. Fernandes is complaining, but the referee is not having any doing on that. It's a free kick to Manchester City. It's going to be taken in the centre circle by Rodri. Fernandes is still remonstrating. He needs to leave it alone and get on with the game. He certainly doesn't want to pick up any yellow cards. Here's Nathan Ake from the free kick. Gives it to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol pulls the ball back. As it is still 0-0 in this FA Cup final. As Manchester City and Manchester United, they're really locked into a tight game here. As here's De Bruyne. Plays it down the left-hand side, and here's Gvardiol. Gvardiol was going to cross the ball, and he dummies it and lays it off to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic releases the ball there to Kyle Walker. Good ball by Walker down the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Silva has got Dalot right in front of him, and he decides to go back to Kyle Walker again. Walker, midway inside the Manchester United half, plays a super ball over to the left-hand side to Gavardio. Gavardio cuts in the penalty area, but his first touch wasn't great. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka just plays it off Josko Gavardio, and it goes behind. And let's just take a look at this again. Once again, Manchester City, really, really good build-up. The cross came in here. It was pulled across there by Kovacic, but Haaland had already gambled it going into the 6-yard box, and there was nobody there. But once again, it is good play by Manchester City, as just taking a seat and having a drink of water is Pep Guardiola right now. He seems a little bit more relaxed based on the way Manchester City are playing, just looking for that breakthrough. The ball has been given away that time by Rodri, rare for him. Here's Amrabat. Amrabat drops the ball back to Dalot. Dalot plays a long ball forward, and chasing this one is Garnacho. Ortega, that is goal! That is the goal for Manchester United! What a shocking play! Oh, that is a comedic error by Manchester City. It was headed back to the goalkeeper by, I believe it was Nathan Ake, and Manchester United on 29 minutes have taken a shot lead here, and it's Alejandro Garnacho. Well, that is really unbelievable play. The referee is now going to check with VAR, which is the usual way of things. But let's look at this again. First of all, it was the ball. It was a ball over the top here that kind of set things off. Dalot's ball. I actually think that Garnacho is onside, but we're going to look at that. VAR will check it. It's long, and there's Gavardio actually. Gavardio headed it over Stefan Ortega, who for some reason was right out on the edge of his 18-yard box, and as soon as he headed it over the goalkeeper, it just left an empty tap-in for Garnacho to give Manchester United the 1-goal lead. But I think that this is going to be reviewed as they're going to review this for offside, I think, but we will see. Well, no, the goal stands. So Manchester United take a 1-goal lead from Garnacho on 30 minutes, and Manchester City now, the pressure is on them now as they fall a goal behind. And well, I have to say I'm very shocked by it, but here comes Phil Foden. Phil Foden tries to play through Erling Haaland as Manchester City now all of a sudden look a lot more direct. Bruno Fernandes wins the ball back in midfield, and it's given to Scott McTominay. Diogo Dalot back to Fernandes. Fernandes tried to set Rashford off on his way, but cutting across is John Stones with a fine challenge there. And we have our first goal in this FA Cup final. Yes, shades of PJ Needham and Shilton in the 1980 League Cup final when Andy Gray scored for Wolves. And shared, yes, that's right, a really good. Yes, it was one of those, wasn't it? Really, it was a very strange sort of goal. I think if you watch it on TV later, Hedges says, "I hope Manchester United win," and thank you, Sue, for joining us today. We hope you're enjoying the commentary. The ball is played long, and it goes through to Stefan Ortega. And it is with the goalkeeper now, Ortega, who releases it. And the ball is released now to Gavardio. And it's Gavardio's error, along with Stefan Ortega, that presented that goal for Garnacho. It's now with Gavardio again down the left-hand side. We had a comment from Andrew Kersley. Feel free to comment at some point. Shot lead for City. Haven't had a shot yet. No, they haven't had a shot, but they've had most of the possession. And I think many would consider it to be a shot lead, given City's dominance in the Premier League right now. And in general, at the moment, they're definitely the best club in the country. I understand you're probably a Manchester United fan, but understandably so. I think many would still consider this a shot lead. Here's Rashford. And it's dropped back there to Mainu. Mainu just over the halfway line, but it's run back by Kevin De Bruyne. And there's Bruno Fernandes, drops the ball back. Oh, and incidentally, I have complimented Manchester United on their defensive play. Cross coming in from Garnacho, and it's headed out to the edge of the area to Kobe Mainu. And here is Bernardo Silva. And Bernardo Silva plays the ball long, and it's picked up there by Rafael Varane. And Varane just pulls the ball back into his own half, and he drops the ball back to Sofyan Amrabat. Back to the goalkeeper. Andre Onana just holds the ball up, and he releases the ball there to... Oh, the ball is played forward there from Varane, and it's laid off by Kobe Mainoo to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka trying to set off Garnacho on his way. He's alleged to have fouled, though, Josko Gvardiol, and it's going to be a free kick. And here's John Stones. Stones just outside the centre circle. He moves into coming across the halfway line. City almost at walking pace at this point. Here's Mateo Kovacic. And the ball is played forward by Kyle Walker. Chasing this one is Erling Haaland. Good challenge that time by Lisandro Martinez as the ball goes out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. We have about 10 minutes to go till half-time. And United still lead this game by a 1-0. As Manchester City now looking to break down this United defence again. Here comes John Stones and Mateo Kovacic. Drops the ball there to Gvardiol. Gvardiol was looking for Phil Foden. Phil Foden gave the ball back to Gvardiol. Here's Nathan Ake, midway inside the Manchester United half. And the ball is played down the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva cuts inside and gives the ball there to Kyle Walker. And here is Rodri. Rodri plays the ball down the left there to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops the ball to Nathan Ake. As it's just moving away now is Mateo Kovacic, just trying to get away from Bruno Fernandes. He plays the ball towards the penalty area, but it's cleared away by Lisandro Martinez. And now with Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker drops the ball back into his own half. And here's John Stones. And here is Mateo Kovacic. And Rodri just holds the ball up. He just tries to turn away from Bruno Fernandes there, does Rodri. He's midway inside the Manchester United half. It's given to Kyle Walker. Walker holds the ball up and it lets Bernardo Silva go there and does a quick 1-2 with Phil Foden. So Manchester City there looking at completed passes, 273 for Manchester City, 95 for Manchester United. Here's Bernardo Silva, edge of the area, tries to shot Bernardo Silva. Oh, and it dropped right in front of Onana, but it was comfortable for the Manchester United goalkeeper for the first shot on goal for Manchester City. And it came from, I'd say, a good 30 yards out, giving credit to the way Manchester United have defended in this first half. They have not been able to break them down. Here is Kobe Mainoo. Mainoo gives the ball to Bruno Fernandes. And here's Rafael Varane. Varane lifts the ball forward and away there. Now goes Garnacho. He's got Rashford in the middle. Garnacho is in here. Pulled across for Rashford. Manchester United. And all of a sudden, Manchester United, or has that been given offside? That may have been given offside. It looks like it has. But just for a moment there, let's take a look at it here again, and I'm sure VAR will review it, yes. It's difficult to tell from that angle, but I think Garnacho may have been offside. He pulls the ball across here brilliantly to Rashford, who just tapped it into the empty net. But it did look like he was in an offside position. And Manchester United, Garnacho just went a minute or two, well, a second or two, I should say, a second or two early. And but Manchester United came very close to doubling their lead there. So Manchester City are going to have to be very careful because they are being caught on the break here. Here is Nathan Ake. Stu said, my friend Barry is a City fan. Him and his wife went to town last Saturday and Liverpool was saying farewell to Klopp all the time they heard, I'm so glad Jurgen is gone. And the ball comes into the middle to Kevin De Bruyne, who tries to get a shot away, but it's blocked. As here comes Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo to Marcus Rashford. Rashford plays the ball long over to the right-hand side to Alejandro Garnacho now, threatening Manchester City again. He pulls it back to Bruno Fernandes. It's time! And Manchester United have doubled their lead. And Manchester City look at 6s and 7s defensively. And they have been caught out by Kobbie Mainoo on 39 minutes. And Manchester United take a commanding 2-goal lead. Well, this was actually really good play by Garnacho. Once again, he's at the centre of this. And he plays the ball into the middle. And Kobbie Mainoo, what a moment for him. A goal in the FA Cup final on the 39th minute. And Manchester United now in a very, very commanding position. As it started with Garnacho down the right-hand side, gets into the corner of the penalty area, pulled across to Fernandes. Fernandes just flicked a little pass through to Mainoo, and it was tapped past the goalkeeper and into the corner of the net. And at the moment, Manchester City are looking for answers. I should have followed him round singing, I'm so glad that Barry is in red. Thanks, Sue. Hilarious. Well, for me, I don't have a dog in this fight. I am neither a Manchester United fan nor a Manchester City fan. But Manchester United have taken a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes to go till half-time. And, well, it's looking very, very much like Manchester City are going to have to try to make all this possession count, because Manchester United have got the 2-goal lead and the tactics are working just right for Erik ten Hag. Here's John Stones, plays the ball across to Gvardiol. Gvardiol, back to Nathan Ake. Ake gives the ball back to Gvardiol, and it's to Rodri now. Rodri swings the ball over to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. He chests it down. He still manages to... Oh, that's a good challenge by Diogo Dalot, just getting his body in the way of that one. But the throw-in is taken quickly by Bernardo Silva. There's a quick 1-2, and here's De Bruyne now. De Bruyne, a ball swung across the 6-yard box, but Haaland not able to get there, as Manchester City now adopting a more direct approach to this game. As, well, it is 2-0, and again, no, Manchester City coming forward with the possession, but they just haven't been able to... It's a final product into the box. And the positioning perhaps of Erling Haaland as well is also not being able to find the right positions to get on the end of some of these crosses. And they've been caught cold on the break on a couple of separate occasions. The ball is played long again, and this time John Stones gets up with the header and gives it back to Kyle Walker. But the ball is given away now to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes, edge of the area, gets a shot away, takes a deflection off John Stones and goes out of play for a throw-in. And Manchester City, all of a sudden, are being stretched the game as Sue said United can't afford to rest on their laurels, never discount City. Well, I agree with you, Sue. They've got so much talent on that team and goal-scoring threats from all over the park. Manchester United, and I think Erik ten Hag will probably be saying that to them at half-time, to remain tight defensively, keep doing what you're doing, because it's working for Manchester United right now. The ball is picked up by Kobbie Mainoo, and even I think Scott McTominay was in an offside position there, and the free kick is going to be taken here. And it's taken by Kyle Walker. And it's now with John Stones inside the centre circle. And it's now with Kyle Walker again, just over the halfway line. Kyle Walker holds the ball up, plays the ball down the right-hand side there to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva pulls the ball into the middle, and Diogo Dalla there just nips in and wins that ball back and clears it, as once again another attack for Manchester City really fizzes out, as here's Gvardiol now. Nathan Ake, Manchester United, such a compact midfield, compact defence at the moment, shutting out Manchester City. Here's Rodri, picked up the ball to Kovacic. Kovacic under pressure by two Manchester United players. Good challenge by Bruno Fernandes, but it breaks loose to Walker. Now here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne tries to get inside Diogo Dalla, but that's a good challenge by Dalla. And now Manchester United can come forward. Scott McTominay just played himself into trouble, but he gets away, or tries to get away from Walker, but he's fouled there, and it's going to be a free kick as we go into the last minute of this game. So Alex Ferguson present in the crowd today, not surprising. What a manager he was for Manchester United. Transformed this team really. As I would argue that Manchester United were not much of a threat for major trophies. They won a few, but not much of a threat for major trophies before the appearance of Sir Alex Ferguson. And of course ended the long wait for a league title as well. The ball is cleared downfield by Onana, goes out of play for a throw-in which Kyle Walker will take. And here is Stones. Stones plays the ball across to Ake. Ake plays it forward down the left-hand side to Gvardiol. Can City pull one back before half-time? Here's the ball is played forward by Kovacic, and a foul there on Kevin De Bruyne by Kobbie Mainoo. And are we going to get our first yellow card? We are. Kobbie Mainoo goes into the referee's notebook on the 45-minute mark for that challenge. It's from behind. I think the yellow card is probably the right decision, as Mainoo, having scored a goal himself, goes into the referee's notebook. As we have 2 minutes of stoppage time given to us today by our fourth official, Simon Hooper. And Manchester United will want to keep this 2-goal lead intact going in for half-time. If City can grab one back, it can change things going into the second half. We all know how fragile a 2-goal lead can be. As the free kick is going to be taken by Kevin De Bruyne. United offering a high line again, just outside of the 18-yard box, and it swung into the box. And, well, nobody really attacked it, and everybody was able to just leave it to Andre Onana. But once again, City not pressing in that final moment to get on the end of some of these crosses. That was very easy for Andre Onana. As Manchester City fans looking on, may just be the league title for Pep Guardiola this year. And it's cleared downfield. And the ball is played forward. It's won back, and Erling Haaland now chasing this one. Good challenge by Wan-Bissaka. Gets across Erling Haaland, and really Manchester United's defence have had Erling Haaland in their back pockets in this first half. He really hasn't been able to get on the end of anything. As time is now ticking down, we've almost had the 2 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Kovacic. Kovacic plays the ball down the left-hand side to Gvardiol. Gvardiol's got Wan-Bissaka in front of him. Wan-Bissaka back to De Bruyne. Oh, good challenge there by Bruno Fernandes. Puts that ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in, as that's it. The referee has blown for half-time. And goals from Alejandro Garnacho from a terrible mistake from Josko Gvardiol and goalkeeper Stefan Ortega. And added to that, 9 minutes later, Kobbie Mainoo put the ball past Ortega into his left-hand corner to make it Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2 in the derby at Wembley Stadium in the 2024 FA Cup final. And it is back to you, JB.
Well, stay with me, Paul, because we want to dissect this first half. So much incident and a surprise scoreline. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. And, I mean, Paul, let's face it. I mean, any odds you could have got on this at half-time, I must admit, or you grab your tea after, but I'll talk about the first half anyway. But I tell you what, it's I think you'd have got 25-1. I think something like that. Most bookmakers this morning on Manchester United leading 2-0 at the break. The first goal is a comedy of errors. It really is a comedy of errors. I've never seen that. I mean, I've never seen a goal quite like that in an FA Cup final, and I've been covering them since 2017. And I've never, in all that time with me covering covering the FA Cup final, and this is my 8th final as a presenter or a commentator, I've never seen a messier goal from that. And to come from Manchester City of all teams is, I just cannot fathom it. One ball over the top, and it shades. If older listeners may, I'll get Paul's view on that in a minute or two, but it's and we'll talk about it. But as soon as he's back, we'll dissect the first half properly. But my views on that first goal was, it was unbelievably. It was like Keystone Cup slip, and it reminded me a bit of the 1980. Older listeners may remember this, especially if you're a Wolves supporter, if you're an older Wolves supporter. 1980. Remember that final against Nottingham Forest? One ball up from Peter Daniel, and then Shilton came out for a ball he didn't need to get. Needham nodded it past him, and Andy Gray had the simplest of jobs from 3 yards out. Similar sort of goal. The other end, the left hand end today, rather than the right. That happened in the right hand end of the old Wembley. Today, at the left hand end of Wembley, it's happened again. And Garnacho will never, ever in his whole career get an easier goal in a big game than that. It was just unbelievable. The second goal was beautifully worked too. And really, it's just been, I just cannot fathom it. Bruno Fernandes got Mainu got the second goal as well. And he's had a super match. He has been booked. Bruno Fernandes has had a top game as well. But I can't remember. I think maybe Bernardo Silva once has tested the goalkeeper at all in that first half. But apart from that, I can't remember anything else, to be quite honest with you. Sue has been on. Hello, Sue. Yes, it's nice to be back on the airways. It's just a one-off because obviously I'm going to take an extended break, just to let you know, listeners, before Paul comes back with me. Just to let you know that this will be my last TCF game of the season. I will not be, due to other reasons beyond my control and everyone else's control, I will not be covering the European Championships. Personally, I've had a hell of a year so far. It's been scary. It's been very, very tough. I've had a lot of issues personally, and then with the World Cup coming up, an extended World Cup coming up in 2 years' time, I feel that if I miss out this European tournament, I can then get myself together for next season and beyond. So that's one of the reasons why I will not be covering the Euros with the TC Hub, but I will be back on the TC Hub from next season onwards. And I've just got word with Paul James is with me. Paul, you've got back from a cup of tea. Can you fathom what you've just seen in this first half? Because, I mean, I was saying just now while you were off the air, I think you probably got about 25-1 on Manchester United being 2 up at this stage. It's just football never ceases to amaze one, does it?
No, it doesn't, and neither does this competition. It really is bizarre given the possession that Manchester City have had. Also, that error by Gvardiol and Stefan Ortega. I'm not sure what Stefan Ortega was doing right on the edge of the 18-yard box there. And then you've got Gvardiol's header over the top. It's a comedic error that you wouldn't expect out of a Pep Guardiola defence. The second goal was a bit more fluid. I think Manchester United have looked very, very good on the break. And defensively, they have been very, very compact and sharp. And they have made it very difficult for Manchester City. I mean, Erling Haaland has been marked out of the game. That being said, no, you can't deny it. It's an absolute shock. It's nobody can say that it's not a shock. I mean, Manchester City have dominated the league. Manchester United have not had a good season by their own standards. They have been poor all season. Let's be honest. They've had trouble coming out of the club as well. 24 hours before a cup final, news coming out of the club that Eric Ten Hag may not be the manager, even if Manchester United win. What sort of treatment is this for a manager?
Exactly. But looking at the goal again, I've just looked at it on television, and Manchester City at the point, they were complaining of offside and they wanted VAR to get involved. But we're looking at it again, he is definitely a yard onside. But the way that United on the counter-attack, Paul, have been able to pick up Manchester City, this is Manchester City we're talking about. Yes, we can talk about the 115 FFP charges against them. I think that is for another day. But how well have Manchester United come out and played? Fernandes here for the second goal to set up a second goal was absolutely superb. And if you had to have a poll in the stadium for player of the match, you'd say Bruno Fernandes is certainly up there. And they could have easily been 3 up if Rashford and company had stayed on side. And do you get the sense now that they say 2-0 is a dangerous lead? Do Manchester United have to be more disciplined? I can't remember Manchester City having a shot at goal, which is, I think, Bernardo tested Onana, once.
Yeah, that's it. They've only had one.
But what do you think? What final question before I leave you for another 10 minutes or so? What does Pep Guardiola now, 2-0 down, what does he have to do? And by the same token, what does Eric Ten Hag have to do to avoid a repeat of what happened in the semi-final at Coventry City when they went 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go and then nearly lost it?
Well, they have to carry on doing what they're doing. What Manchester City have right now is a huge problem. Manchester United are playing very, very compact. They can't break through them so easy in Manchester City right now. They're struggling to break them down. Even the balls that are getting into the penalty area, Haaland has got 2 or 3 players around him. There is no follow-up coming in from Foden and De Bruyne, and it's just breaking apart for Manchester City right now. They're not there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, Paul, you get ready for the second half. And thank you very much for your insight in the first half. So 2-0 here at Wembley Stadium in this FA Cup final. You're hearing it live on all TC Hub platforms, including JB Sports, Storm FM, TC Hub 2 and TC Hub itself. Anyway, let's keep you up to date. There's not just one cup final in Britain today, but 2, because the Old Firm are meeting in the 150th Scottish Cup final up at Hampden Park. I can tell you that the halftime score in that game is 0-0, but it's I've been watching a little bit on my monitor, and Celtic and Rangers have had a few good opportunities each, but still nothing to choose between the two sides at the moment. We'll keep you abreast if any goals go in that final up at Hampden Park, incidentally. Elsewhere, the cricket, we've got England in action in the first of the 2020 games up at Edgbaston. Currently with 1 over to go in that game. In their batting performance, they won the toss and batted first, and they've just made 170 for 7 after 19.1 overs. I can tell you that Butler fell for 84 of 41. Let me just bring you the full scorecard at the moment. Well, Salt was out for 13. Butler caught by Khan. Well, Ralph for 84. Jacks did well on debut. 37 he made from 23 balls. Bairstow lasted 18 balls for his 21. Brook out for 1, bowled by Wazim. Moeen didn't last too long. He was caught by Wizam for 4 from 7 deliveries. Livingston not out 2 from 2 balls. Jofra Archer's just come in. Chris Jordan was out for 3 or 3 balls, caught by Ralph again. 5 extras from that, and at the moment they're actually on. Archer's just hit a boundary, we're told. So Jofra Archer back in the England fold after several years out to injuries, one or another injuries. They're now at 174 for 7 with 4 balls to spare of that innings. Also, just to remind you that Pakistan will bat. And it looks as if they'll have a difficult little total to chase in that one. Formula One, at the moment, as things stand, they're in the top 10 qualifying shootout at the moment. They're qualifying for tomorrow's Monaco Grand Prix in Monaco, of course. Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen are the top three drivers. There are 2 minutes to go. Lewis Hamilton at the moment is in fourth is improved to fourth on the grid, but then he went to provisional fourth on the grid, and then drops down to fifth on the grid because George Russell has just taken third place on the grid, and in fact Lewis Hamilton is now on another flying lap, and he's going on a very good first sector. If he can get a good time, he'll go on the front row. We'll stick. So at the moment, Leclerc stops final practice, Verstappen second, Hamilton in third place. That's the way it is at the moment. But of course, and also 2 big names out in the first session, incidentally, were Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso. And in fact, Verstappen has hit the wall, we're told, as well. It's all happening over in Monaco, that is for sure. In the Champions Cup rugby, it's level at 9 points each, not too far from Wembley Stadium. They're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in that one. Leinster 9, Toulouse 9, 3 penalties each in that one, and anything can still happen in that one. So Ross Byrne has just scored his third penalty. There's about half an hour left to play in that one. We'll let you know what happens at the end of the programme. So that keeps you up to date with all the live sport that's going on. Let me just tell you that Vincent Kompany has agreed terms with Bayern Munich in principle. He's going to sign a contract with going to sign quite a lot of. So this is what happened. It's Burnley, apparently, according to BBC, that Bayern is set to spend. Bayern is set to pay Burnley £10.2 million in compensation. At the end of the Greg Bellamy, though, significantly will not accompany the Belgian to the Allianz Arena, but Florent Magala and Barnes will form part of his backroom staff. So Burnley now look like being without a manager for a little while anyway. There are some odds-on favourites. David Moyes is up there as odds-on favourite. Mark Robbins would be a good fit. There's also talk that Marcelo Bielsa could take over at Turf Moor next season, and that would be something spectacular. Don't forget, anyway. So, and Wayne Rooney has been appointed Plymouth Argyle manager as well. He replaces Neil Durnship, who kept them up. Or in fact, he replaces Ian Foster, who was sacked on the 1st of April, on April Fool's Day. It's his first role since he was sacked by Birmingham City on the 2nd of January. So there is Wayne Rooney. So it's a roll of the dice for the Pilgrims, that's for sure. Is he up to the job? That's the thing. But he's we don't know how long he signed for. I would have thought a 3-year deal anyway. But that's the situation in the world of sport. Just to remind you before we cross over the ball for the start of the second half, that Leeds United and Southampton will meet for the final Premier League place in the Championship Player Final. That's live from 2:50 tomorrow on the TC Hub and all platforms. And now, can Pep Guardiola do a Coventry City and come back from the dead in this FA Cup final? The second half about to get underway. Let's rejoin your match commentator for the second half, Paul James.
Thank you, JB. Yes, the game has just got back underway with Manchester United attacking the goal to our right. Not surprisingly, Manchester City have made a double substitution at half-time. Mateo Kovacic has come off, along with Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji and Jeremy Doku are on for the Citizens at half-time. So Manchester United themselves, they don't make any changes. Not surprising there either. We've had some comments at half-time. Mike thinks Manchester United... Mike thinks Manu should go to the Euro. He deserves a final squad. Yes, sir, it was Argentina and Holland. Hi Trev, how you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing very, very well. Second half back underway now with the ball is back with Stefan Ortega, and he releases the ball there to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker sets off Kevin De Bruyne. He was looking for Bernardo Silva down the right, but away breaks Diogo Dalot now for Manchester United. Down the left-hand side, Manchester United breaking forward with speed again. This time he's almost dispossessed, but Kobbie Mainoo nips in and gives it to Sofyan Amrabat as Manchester United maintain possession. And the ball is now with Scott McTominay, but it's won back there, really well won back there by Bernardo Silva. It goes back to Stefan Ortega, and now it's with Phil Foden. Foden releases Gvardiol. He's got Manuel Akanji alongside him, but he decides instead to drop it to Rodri. Rodri inside the centre circle. Oh, he's trying to catch Onana off his line. That was an audacious effort. I don't think that was really going to work, but it goes well over the crossbar, and it's going to be a goal kick to Manchester United as Pep Guardiola ringing the changes at half time. Rodri there, been such a staple for Manchester City this season. They generally just haven't looked the same without him. Here's Onana now. He releases the ball to Amrabat. Amrabat to Martinez. Martinez holds up the ball now. He's got options available. He goes long and he's looking for the chasing Marcus Rashford, but it rolls off Rashford and goes back to the goalkeeper. And Ortega releases it. And there's Gvardiol, gives the ball to Ake. Not Ake, rather. Akanji. Manuel Akanji. As he steps forward now for Manchester City. And as it stands right now, we are still 2-0 to the red half of Manchester. As here's Kyle Walker. Walker holds up the ball, drops it back into the centre circle to Akanji. Akanji, options left and right. He releases the ball there to Gvardiol. Gvardiol brings a substitute Jeremy Doku into the game for the first time. Doku plays the ball back to Phil Foden. Foden to Walker. Walker to Rodri. Nice ball out to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva has got Diogo Dalot in front of him. Dalot. Dalot trying to get in there with Bernardo Silva, but Bernardo Silva's pass across was a poor one, and Manchester United can now break with Scott McTominay. McTominay drops the ball back there to to Mainoo, and in the end it goes back to the goalkeeper, and it's released to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka gives the ball there to Garnacho. Garnacho to Amrabat. 3 City players around him. A good work by Amrabat. He drops the ball back there to Rafael Varane. Varane finds Amrabat again. Amrabat drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Onana under pressure from Haaland, and he does clear the ball downfield, and it's picked up there by Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes just over the halfway line now. He's got options available. He drops it back to Mainoo. Mainoo, tried to find Fernandes. In the end, it finds Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It's now back with Mainoo again down the right. That's a really good ball by Mainoo to find Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes just trying to play in Mainoo again. But that is a really, really good block that time by Akanji. As Manchester United pick up possession again, there has been a foul on Scott McTominay and will be a free kick to Manchester United about 40 yards from goal. But this was a really brilliant move by Manchester United. The ball was played forward by Mainoo. It was hard for Fernandes, but he got there in the end. But his pass was intercepted by Akanji before the ball went through. Well, it's a free kick though to Manchester United with 5 minutes gone in the second half. No changes as of yet by Erik ten Hag. And it's going to be Bruno Fernandes with a free kick. It's about 40 yards from goal. Central. And, it's a poor ball by Fernandes. And Doku wins that ball easily. And now the pacey Belgian is coming forward. But that's a good challenge by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And Manchester United looking to catch City on the break. And Wan-Bissaka's ball to Alejandro Garnacho was poor, and he couldn't get there. It rolls out of play for a throw into City, and it's taken quickly by Rodri looking for Doku. Doku is under pressure there by Amrabat. Jeremy Doku keeps possession though. He drops the ball back just inside his own half to Manuel Akanji. Akanji forward to Foden. Foden released to Rodri. Rodri now looking for options left and right. Finds Jeremy Doku. Doku, and it's back with Gvardiol. Gvardiol across to Akanji. Down the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's got Dalot in front of him. Swung in by Dalot and headed out that time by Alessandro Martinez, just ahead of Haaland. But it's back with Doku again. Down the left this time. He's got Wan-Bissaka in front of him. And Doku pulls the ball back there to Gvardiol. It's with John Stones. Both Gvardiol and Stones in advanced positions for Manchester City right now. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne gets lucky with that pass, but he loses possession now. Scott McTominay tries to break forward, but that is a good challenge by Josko Gvardiol, and the ball rolls behind for a goal kick. And it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. As this could be a perfect tonic for Manchester United fans and for Erik ten Hag in general, just to validate him as a Manchester United manager. Is picking up a major trophy is something that he'll be very, very happy with if he is forced out of the door at Old Trafford. And here is Bruno Fernandes. Diogo Dalla. Dalla plays the ball forward. And here's Marcus Rashford. Drops it back to McTominay. United coming quickly forward on the break. McTominay finds Garnacho. Garnacho in the penalty area, right-hand side. Garnacho is pulled back. And on down goes McTominay under the challenge from Akanji, but Bruno Fernandes still has it. Tries to play the ball into the middle, but it's blocked. And now Manchester City can come forward. And here's Jeremy Doku down the left-hand side. Good challenge again by Wan-Bissaka. But the referee has determined that it's going to be a free kick. As we look again at this, I think he goes down a bit easy, but does McTominay. It's very 50-50 that one, though. I've actually seen him given for things like that. But no penalty awarded for Manchester United. Here's Kyle Walker. And it's Rodri. Plays the ball forward. There's a quick 1-2 with Haaland. And Rodri plays the ball long down to the left-hand side. And here's Jeremy Doku. Doku attacking Wan-Bissaka. He plays the ball across with Doku back to Foden. Foden trying to feed the ball through there to Kevin De Bruyne. It was blocked, but it's picked up by Bernardo Silva. And here's Doku again, played across. And well, that's unfortunate for Phil Foden. He wasn't able to get on the end of that properly. His first touch wasn't the best, and in the end it rolled through to Andre Onana. But already as the second half gets underway, Jeremy Doku is providing an extra creative touch for Manchester City, as Manchester United will have to watch him. And Onana kicks the ball downfield. The header is won by Rodri, and it's flicked on by De Bruyne, and here goes Foden again. Foden to Doku, edge of the area. Jeremy Doku cuts inside, it's pulled across to Foden, and to the crossbar! Oh, Manchester City come so close from Erling Haaland. It's his first sighted goal in the entire game, and he gets a shot away, and it crashes against the Manchester United crossbar. And here now is Rodri, as City continue to put the pressure on this Manchester United defence. As here's Bernardo Silva. He's got Dalot in front of him. Bernardo Silva drops the ball back there to John Stones. Foden plays the ball down the left to Jeremy Doku. He's got a bit of pace. He's got a bit of space here as Doku gets into the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? Good challenge by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That is a super challenge on Jeremy Doku, and it's going to be a corner. But City come oh so close to equalising there. And the corner is going to be taken by De Bruyne on the left-hand side. Haaland is in the penalty area being closely watched there. De Bruyne with the corner, heads go up, it's punched out by Onana, and Amrabat helps it on its way, but he only finds Kyle Walker. Walker to Rodri. Back there to Gavardio, to Bernardo Silva, down the left-hand side to De Bruyne. De Bruyne brings it in towards the back post, but it goes over everybody's head and goes out of play for a goal kick. Well, as we look again, oh yes, it's the first time that Haaland wasn't picked up. He just needs a yard of space, that's all he needs. And his shot there just rattled the crossbar. And it remains 2-0 as Manchester City make another substitution. Kevin De Bruyne is off. And Julian Alvarez is on for the Citizens. So it's a third substitution for Manchester City in this game. No roll of the dice yet by Erik ten Hag. John Stones plays the ball across to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker drops the ball back there to Manuel Akanji. Akanji just over the halfway line now. Akanji drops the ball there to Kyle Walker. And it's played forward then into the area to Julian Alvarez. He tried to get the cross in, but it was blocked. Or was it? I thought that came off a Manchester United player, to be honest, but that to me looked like a corner. But Kevin De Bruyne is off. This is one I'm surprised at. I mean, yes, 2-0 down, they need to take a more direct approach, but Kevin De Bruyne, I think, had been very effective, in my opinion, for Manchester City, as Onana clears the ball downfield, headed on by Manuel Akanji. And Amrabat just heads the ball on, but only finds Rodri, and Rodri gives the ball there to Doku. Doku cuts into the penalty area, pulls out, gives the ball to Alvarez. Alvarez to Stones, down on the right-hand side now to Bernardo Silva. Back to Stones, lifts across towards the back post, flicked on by Wan-Bissaka, and it's now with Rodri. Rodri swings the ball in again. It's headed up in the air by Diogo Dalot. Finally, Bruno Fernandes gets it and tries to clear the ball and look for Rashford, but the ball is given away now to Garnacho, and cutting across to make that challenge was Josko Gavardio with a much more solid defensive play this time. As now the ball is cleared forward to Rodri. Rodri, City storming forward again, looking for a goal back. Here's Doku. Gets in the penalty area, gets a shot away to Doku, but it's blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Amrabat clears the ball forward, but he only finds Manuel Akanji. He's just over the halfway line, and it's given to John Stones now, midway inside the Manchester United half. Back with Rodri. He's got Bernardo Silva over on the right-hand side if he wants to play him. Instead, he gives the ball to Julian Alvarez. Alvarez plays the ball back to Rodri. Rodri, good ball down the left again to Doku. Doku, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. And he's got Aaron Wan-Bissaka in front of him. And it's now with Gavardio. And it's all the way back to Kyle Walker with the shot. Oh, a super save from Andre Onana. What a shot by Kyle Walker. But it's a super save by Andre Onana. But what an effort that was. And it's going to be a corner for Manchester City. Down the right-hand side, it's taken quickly by Bernardo Silva. Quick 1-2 with Phil Foden. Bernardo Silva gives the ball to Alvarez. Alvarez, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side, gives it to Doku. Doku just trying to pull away from Wan-Bissaka. And it's now with Josko Gavardio. Gives it to Walker. And then to Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva has got Bruno Fernandes in front of him. Drop back to Alvarez. The cross comes in. It's headed out by Wan-Bissaka again, but only as far as Rodri. Rodri swings the ball into the back post. It goes over Onana's head. Rafael Varane and goes behind for a goal kick. There was perhaps a lack of communication there, but it's going to be a corner to Manchester City, and it's taken quickly. It's with Alvarez. He's thinking of the shot, and he'll come back again to Alvarez, who blazes the shot over the crossbar. Well, it wasn't a million miles away, and Andre Onana just wanted to make sure that ball had gone over the crossbar. But that is a chance again for Manchester City, as they are really turning the screws in this second half. Look at this shot just over the crossbar. And, well, again, we look at that super save from the shot from Kyle Walker by Andre Onana, flying to his left-hand side. Of course, I think most Manchester United fans will agree that Onana has a mistake in him, but that really was a super save. And the ball is cleared downfield, and it comes off Gvardiol, as the attempts in the second half for Manchester City are 9 and 5 in favour of the Citizens, but still they remain 2 goals down in this 2024 FA Cup final. The ball is played forward to Bruno Fernandes, and it rolls off Fernandes, and it's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City. And it's over by the corner flag as we take a look at Pep Guardiola. Well, he has made 3 substitutes so far, none for Manchester United. As the throw-in is long, is Haaland fouled there? The referee says yes, a foul by Diogo Dalot. And here's Akanji. And it's given to Rodri. Rodri goes long, but that's a good block by Bruno Fernandes. And now Rashford. Manchester United can break forward in numbers. Fernandes gives the ball to McTominay, edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. McTominay tries a shot, but it's blocked there by Rodri. That's good work by him. And Manchester City shut down that attack from Manchester United. It's been a rare attack at the start of the second half. It has to be said that Manchester City have really been piling on the pressure at the start of this second half to try to get back into the game. But Manchester United still defending very resolutely and making it very difficult for Manchester City. Is Akanji, just over the halfway line now. Akanji plays the ball to Julian Alvarez, and Alvarez gives the ball back to Stones. It's just midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. Gvardiol gives the ball to Jeremy Doku, who's once again got Wan-Bissaka in front of him. He cuts inside Wan-Bissaka, and he tries to play the ball through to Foden, but there was no way Foden was going to reach that. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Media Radio and Jingle says Onana is playing well today. Agreed with you there. He's definitely doing very well today. Super save earlier on. So it's going to be the said Onana with the goal kick. Long downfield, looking for Scott McTominay. He chested the ball down there, but he only found Rodri, who gave the ball to Manuel Akanji, to Stones. Back to Rodri again now. Rodri trying to get over the halfway line to create another attack for Manchester City. Rodri gives the ball to Stones. Back to Rodri. Forward there to Foden. Oh, that's a beautiful ball through from Foden. And that could be 1-1. And that is that just goes behind for a goal kick from Julian Alvarez. It was a beautiful ball through by Foden. But Alvarez, although beating Onana, found the wrong side of the post. But that is a chance for Manchester City, it has to be said, by their standards. And it was just rolled past the goalkeeper, but just found the wrong side of the post. And you begin to wonder, when you see that, whether it's going to be Manchester City's day at all today. Great chance for Julian Alvarez. At 65 minutes gone here, Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. Excuse me. And here's Rashford. Rashford tries to find Mainu. Mainu is dispossessed. There's been a goal in the Scottish Cup final. Rangers 1, Celtic 0 is the score in the Old Firm. So Rangers miss out on the Premiership, but they may pick up the Scottish Cup. So now it's back with Andre Onana, who clears the ball downfield. Tried to be flicked on by John Stones, but manages to find Marcus Rashford. Rashford sets off Dalot on his way. Dalot now down the left-hand side. Cuts into the middle. Does Dalot with a shot, and it's just wide of Ortega's goal. As Dalot getting a shot off in anger in this second half, looking to double Manchester City. Looking to treble Manchester United's lead. And we're just being informed by JB that goal for Rangers has in fact been disallowed by VAR. So VAR has interfered in the Scottish Cup final, and that goal has in fact been disallowed. Here's Julian Alvarez now for City. And it's with Phil Foden. And the ball is with Walker now. Walker plays the ball across there to Jeremy Doku. Doku plays the ball across there to Gavardio. Gavardio to John Stones, and John Stones' shot is over the crossbar, and it's going to be a goal kick. We're going to see a substitute for Manchester United now. I just wonder whether Rasmus Højlund, I should say, looks like he could be coming on. So there's action on the Manchester United bench. We're just seeing him warm up now to a loud applause by the Manchester United fans over on that near side. I'm sure they would like to see him today. Onana with the goal kick, long downfield. Brought down well there by McTominay. McTominay just trying to get away from Akanji, but that's a good challenge by Manuel Akanji. And now here's Foden. Gives the ball to Jeremy Doku. Doku just trying to turn away from Wan-Bissaka, but that is a good challenge, and he finds Amrabat. And Amrabat gives the ball to Rafael Varane, and goes back to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana, who clears the ball downfield. Headed on by Josko Gavardio, and tries to find Phil Foden, but Amrabat wins the ball back, and he gives the ball to Bruno Fernandes, who sets off Alejandro Garnacho on his way. Garnacho down the right-hand side, gets the shot away, and it's a good save by Stefan Ortega, and it's going to be a corner for Manchester United. Well, media radio and jingle said, I hope City don't come back if I want Man United to win, but you never know in the cup, they could be the next Coventry City. Well, it's certainly possible. A 2-0 lead is, in my opinion, can be a very fragile lead, so we'll just see how it goes. At the moment, Manchester United keeping City out at the moment and creating one or two chances of their own. They've got a corner now on the right-hand side, which Fernandes will take. It's swung to the back post. And looking for the header there, it was Rafael Varane. It goes over his head. And then going over to meet it is Bernardo Silva. And he is challenged by Rashford. As Manchester, it looks like, yes, Johnny Evans just clashed with Bernardo Silva there. And they had words with each other, the Manchester United substitute. But the game goes on. Here's Rodri. Rodri plays the ball over to Josko Gavardio, who chests the ball down to Manuel Akanji, and Akanji gives it back to Stefan Ortega. Ortega plays the ball there, and it's Kyle Walker. Walker just puts his foot on the ball and then lifts the ball over the top to Erling Haaland. Challenging is Amrabat, but he falls over under the challenge of Erling Haaland. No free kick. And here's Manuel Akanji now, just inside his own half. And he's just over the halfway line now, is Manuel Akanji. He drops the ball to Jeremy Doku. Doku has got Wan-Bissaka in front of him once more. It's been a good battle between those two. And here, and a good ball by Gavardio to Rodri, and Rodri just tried to lift the ball over the top. I guess he was expecting the run from Phil Foden, but that didn't happen, and it goes through to Andre Onana. Well, still 2-0. And as we look at some of the fans there, you see the young man on the screen there, big day for him. This is a day he'll remember for the rest of his life, as we see the Manchester City fans as well. Some of them still got a smile on their face. Here's John Stones to Phil Foden, and Phil Foden plays the ball long, looking for Jeremy Doku, but good interception by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And here is Garnacho. Garnacho played back to Rafael Varane. Varane plays the ball long, looking for Marcus Rashford. He's just trying to get away from Kyle Walker, but that is really good work by Kyle Walker once again, managing Rashford very, very well in this game. With 20 minutes to go here, it's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. And this game now is 72% possession Manchester City, 28% possession United. as here comes Alvarez. He drops the ball to Doku. Inside the penalty area, left-hand side, Doku tries to get a shot away. It's blocked, and it just breaks away from Bernardo Silva and goes behind for a corner. But Jeremy Doku, this is really good play from him. Gets into the penalty area, gets a shot away, but we've got our first casualty of cramp on the Wembley surface, which is Lisandro Martinez. As this game goes on, you're going to see more and more of that. So, Lisandro Martinez now, this has just been having his leg stretched by Rafael Varane. And we're waiting for the corner that's going to be taken. And our referee today, Andy Madley, just going over to make sure that everything is in order. He certainly won't want any time wasting in this game. As we take a look again at that error by Gvardiol, as the goal from Alejandro Garnacho, who's been quite magnificent today for Manchester United. As we then look again at the Manuel Akanji goal, not the Manuel Akanji, the Kobe Mainu goal, as he put the ball in the net as well. A very happy looking Sir Alex Ferguson at the moment. Corner, the substitute's going to be making. It looks like it's Johnny Evans and Rasmus Højlund. Lisandro Martinez is going off, and Johnny Evans will be on to replace him. And a sub on Lisandro Martinez by Walker, and they're having a little chat with each other, and things are just getting very heated back here. He's walking off now, but the players are just trying to separate each other. Kyle Walker's not happy with the amount of time it's taking Lisandro Martinez to get off the field. Finally, he is off. And I'm just looking to see who the other replacement is for Rasmus Højlund. And he's still having words with the official, is Kyle Walker, about the amount of time that Martinez is taking to get off the pitch. As we're just trying to... Looks like, yes, it's Rashford who's the other substitute for Rasmus. So we have got Rasmus Højlund and Johnny Evans on for Lisandro Martinez and Marcus Rashford. Those are the first roll of the dice by Erik ten Hag. There is 17 minutes left in this game. And, Rashford is also taking his time to come off the field, but off he is now, and Højlund is on. And Højlund has been very effective for Manchester United this season. He's been able to bag in a few goals in such a short period of time. And the referee now is just going to allow the corner to be taken. It's going to be taken by Bernardo Silva. And it's swung in. Heads go up, and it's in the air by Dalot, and goes behind for another corner. And, Højlund actually has 10 goals this season. So he's an extra threat up front for Manchester United. The corner is now going to be taken down the right-hand side, and it's going to be Julian Alvarez who swings it in. The heads go up. It may just have come off Rafael Varane first, but Haaland goes down, and they are claiming a penalty. And Haaland, can't believe that has not been given. Let's take a look. Flicks off Varane's head. And, you have to say there was contact there by Mainu. I mean, I've seen them given. I have seen them given, but on this occasion, there is no further action taken by the referee today. And Manchester United will continue to maintain their 2-goal lead. As the ball is with Alvarez now, being chased by Amrabat. Alvarez wins it, gives it to Doku. Doku drops it back to Manuel Akanji, and he's given the ball to John Stones. Stones, Kyle Walker. Still City pressing. Here's Phil Foden. Back to Manuel Akanji again. In the middle there, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. It's sprayed down the left-hand side to Doku. Doku across to Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball there to Rodri. Rodri pulls the ball back there to Alvarez. Alvarez. Doku. Doku tries to get away from Wan-Bissaka. And Doku just holds the ball up. He's now under pressure from Wan-Bissaka and Amrabat. He drops the ball back to Alvarez. Alvarez back to Akanji. He's about 35 yards out. Gives the ball to Walker. Walker's going to have another shot. And another fine save by Andre Onana. Gets down to his right, makes a one-hand save there. And the rebound is picked up and cleared away. He's offside anyway. There must have been a player in an offside position there. But Onana wouldn't have known that. And what a superb save that was again from Walker's shot. Yes, Haaland was in the offside position and he went for the ball, but cutting across and making that challenge was Scott McTominay. But a super save by Andre Onana, getting down to that right-hand side. And the free kick is taken by Andre Onana for the offside. And he's looking for Bruno Fernandes, who just nips it down the left-hand side and tries to get away there from Kyle Walker. He goes down under the challenge. The referee says no free kick. And here's Rodri. Rodri, long ball to the left now to Jeremy Doku. It's in the air by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but Doku picks it up. And he's just trying to get away. Is Doku from Amrabat. Doku has still got the ball. He's shoved over that tide. Finally, a free kick is given. And Manchester United cannot believe it. It's going to be a free kick from a very dangerous position, just 2 or 3 yards outside the Manchester United penalty area on the right-hand side. But let's take a look at this and see if there really was much in that. Well, there really wasn't. The funny thing is, and I'm not just saying this, the funny thing is, there wasn't much difference between that and what Haaland had in the penalty area at the other end of the field. There's just a lack of consistency when it comes to these type of challenges. And anyway, the free kick is just on the corner of the D on the right-hand side. Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden are over it. Of course, this would normally be Kevin De Bruyne, but he has been taken off. So Foden and Alvarez are over this as we have 12 minutes left to go. In about 10 minutes, I'll be naming my player of the match. If you have any thoughts about player of the match as well, please put them in the comment section. I'll read them out. Of course, it's an opinion-based game, so everybody please just feel free to just chuck in who you think it should be the player of the match. I'll be announcing it in about 10 minutes' time. And here's Alvarez and Foden both standing over this free kick. Let's see who's going to take this one. I just think it may be Foden. It is Foden, and it's right into the wall. And it breaks back, though, to Alvarez. Alvarez tries to find Doku, but it's a poor pass. And he finds Wan-Bissaka. And Wan-Bissaka was trying to set off Garnacho on his way, but he plays the ball off Gvardiol. And it's going to be a throw-in. I see Manchester United fans looking very happy right now. Still 2-0. And going to be a throw-in to Manchester United. And the referee there play it forward and looking for Rasmus Højlund. Højlund putting Akanji under pressure, and the referee has given a free kick against Manuel Akanji. And now Manchester United have a free kick in a very dangerous position, about 4 yards outside the penalty area. His arm was across Rasmus Højlund, and the Danish forward went down under the challenge. And Andy Madley judged that to be a free kick. We'll see who's going to take this one for Manchester United. It's a little bit further to the right, and Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho are over it. There is a three-man wall there. Haaland is in that wall. Alvarez is in there. I think also Bernardo Silva. I think this is probably going to be Fernandes, but we'll see. It's actually Foden, Alvarez, and Haaland. But we're just going to see if he's going to have a shot here. He does, Fernandes, and it's right into the arms of Stefan Ortega. and he just holds the ball up now. And Manchester United had the shot there, but was not able to treble their lead. As here goes Bernardo Silva, and he releases the ball there to Rodri. Rodri's got time and space in front of him. A quick 1-2 with Julian Alvarez. Rodri again plays the ball to Alvarez. He tries to lay it off to Bernardo Silva down that right-hand side. Bernardo Silva, corner of the penalty area here. Laid off to Rodri. Gets into the penalty area. Rodri, and it's just bad control by Phil Foden. You know it's not going to be your day when that happens. It just bounces behind him, and Amrabat clears the ball, but only as far as Doku. This time down the right-hand side. He crosses the ball in, and it's out of play and behind by Johnny Evans, and it's going to be a corner to Manchester City. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2, the 2024 FA Cup final. And it's looking like it's going to the Reds. The corner comes in from Foden to the back post. Onana gets a hand to it and just pushes the ball away. And Julian Alvarez picks up the ball. It's swung back into the penalty area. He punches it again, Onana. He might have been easier to have caught that one. It's now back with Mainoo. Mainoo plays the ball forward. And away now is Garnacho. Garnacho gets challenged by Kyle Walker. Good challenge there by the England fullback on Garnacho. It's going to be a throw into Manchester United as time is ticking down in this one. We will have the presentation for you at the end of the game. I'll go back to JB and we'll have a discussion with JB. We'll take a short break and we'll be back for the presentation of the trophy. The famous FA Cup, and those Manchester United fans now starting to feel it. Revenge for the Manchester Derby defeat last season. This will feel very, very sweet in the mouths of Manchester United fans, and also in the mouth of Eric Ten Hag. So it's a free kick to Manchester United, and Bruno Fernandes is going to take this free kick. It's just a few yards in from the touchline on the right-hand side. And it's going to be taken by Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes just holds the ball up and it's swung long towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Getting in the header there was Rafael Varane, and just trying to get in front there was Johnny Evans. He got a touch on it, but only forces it wide, and it's going to be a goal kick. As we take a look at Alex Ferguson's famous look at the watch, he hasn't changed, has he? The famous look at the watch to see how much time is left, and something he did throughout his career continuously. And well, there was some controversy surrounding stoppage time and Alex Ferguson, but it's all fun and games, isn't it? Andre Onana has the ball now. And take a look again at Sir Alex Ferguson. He's looking well, because he went through a period of time of illness. He's looking a lot better now, which we're all very happy to hear about and see. He certainly looks like he looks very, very well, and I think it's he's still obviously involved at Old Trafford, and I think that's brilliant for Manchester United because they need his expertise. As the ball goes back to Stefan Ortega, who plays the ball downfield. And it's headed on by Amrabat. Amrabat plays the ball back there to Rafael Varane, who goes back to Andre Onana. Onana clears the ball downfield. And flicked on again by Rodri to Amrabat. And Amrabat just drops the ball back to the goalkeeper. As far as we're still aware, it is still Rangers 0, Celtic 0 in the Old Firm Scottish Cup final. And here is Scott McTominay. McTominay just trying to break away, but he's fouled Jeremy Doku, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City as we go into the last 5 minutes of this game. And time is running out for the citizens to get back in this game. Here's Bernardo Silva. Gives the ball to Walker. It's a good ball forward to Phil Foden, but Phil Foden runs into Amrabat, and Amrabat is alleged to have fouled Phil Foden, and it's going to be a free kick from about 50 yards out, dead centre of the goal. So this is a really good position for Manchester City. And yes, he body checked Phil Foden there. I think that's definitely a free kick. And the free kick, I'd say, well, it's maybe a little bit more than 30 yards, maybe 33 yards out. And it's Julian Alvarez standing over this one. Manchester City need a goal very, very soon if they want to get back into this game. As on the edge of his technical area there, the ball is played to Doku. It's short. Doku gets into the 6-yard box. It's played to the penalty area. It's played across, but cleared away only as far as Bernardo Silva. Back to Julian Alvarez. Foden. Doku. Corner of the penalty area. Doku just pulls away. Gets the shot away to Doku. And it's in! Oh, that is a shocking mistake by Andre Onana. And Jeremy Doku has pulled the goal back for Manchester City. And that is a very poor mistake by Andre Onana. And he looks extremely frustrated at that. And, well, that lets Manchester City back into this game because now there's time. And that 2-goal lead now looks very, very fragile. On 86 minutes, the substitute Jeremy Doku with the goal. As we look at it again, he just cut across the edge of the penalty area, and the shot was really did not have a lot of power, and it was pushed in by Andre Onana, and it is 2-1 now. And Manchester City are right back in this game as Erik ten Hag just drops his head. He can't believe that. And the game is back underway. We are at 2-1 now. Manchester City now back in this game now. We are in for a tense finish here in this 2024 FA Cup final. And, well, I do wonder now whether Manchester City can grab a goal back here, another goal back here, and take this game to extra time. It's now with Bernardo Silva, who drops it back to Manuel Akanji, and Akanji gives the ball to Doku. Doku attacking Wan-Bissaka. Doku gets in the penalty area. It's pulled across, and it almost broke loose for Foden and finally cleared away by Johnny Evans, but that nearly broke loose for Foden 7 yards out. And here's Doku again. City piling the pressure on here. Doku cutting across the penalty area. He gets the shot away and it's blocked. And it's hacked away by Alejandro Garnacho. And it's, again, Garnacho will get another opportunity here to get the ball away. He tries to find Rasmus Højlund, but only hands the ball back to Akanji. It's now Rodri. Rodri to Walker. Walker now to Alvarez. Back to Walker. And we've got less than 90 seconds left. And I am going to give you the player of the match at the next stoppage of play. And here is Gvardiol. It's back now with Rodri. Rodri drops the ball to Jeremy Doku. Doku tries to play the ball in, but it's cleared away there by Scott McTominay. And it's picked up by Kyle Walker, who gives it back to Ortega. And picked up there by Bernardo Silva. Gives the ball across there to Rodri, who gives it to Akanji, who in turn gives it to Julian Alvarez. Back to Rodri. Good ball down the left-hand side to Jeremy Doku. Doku pulls the ball across there, looking for Gvardiol. Comes back to Akanji with the shot, and it goes out of play. And it's a goal kick. So I'm going to just give a player of the match here. And today's player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, is going to go to Manchester United's number 17, Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho scored a goal and been involved in the goal, the second goal as well. He's been really quite dangerous down the right-hand side. So today's player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Manchester United's number 17, Alejandro Garnacho. If you perhaps have a different name, please feel free to comment in the comment section. We'll read it out as Simon Hooper has given 7 minutes of stoppage time in this game. We have 7 minutes of stoppage time. What a finish this is going to be. Here's Garnacho for Manchester United. And 7 minutes added on in this game as that ball goes behind. Manchester United now making 2 changes. Victor Lindelof and Mason Mount are going to be coming on. Well, this is I don't know if this is more of a time wasting thing or just a change to add some extra bodies in the midfield and defence to kind of strengthen things a little bit. But here's Alvarez. Gives the ball to Doku. He's got Wan-Bissaka in front of him. Gets in the penalty area. Doku. Wonderful challenge by Wan-Bissaka. That was a wonderful challenge by Wan-Bissaka, which he had to get absolutely right. And he did. And it's a corner now to Manchester City. Rangers and Celtic still 0-0. There's about 3 minutes left there. Here's the corner down the left-hand side, which Alvarez will take it. Swung in, and Onana plucks it out the air with authority that time. As Andre Onana will be hoping beyond hope that Manchester United were able to keep that lead after that error. I mentioned earlier that Andre Onana does have an error in him, but for the most part today, he has played really, really wonderfully well. So he'll be very disappointed with himself on that one. The ball is downfield and it's headed down by Gvardiol. And here's Doku. And the challenge by Garnacho on Doku. It runs off Garnacho and it's going to be a throw-in just on the halfway line for Manchester City as we are ticking down into these 7 minutes of stoppage times as the substitutions are about to be made. Substitution is about to be made now. Scott McTominay is coming off. And Alejandro Garnacho, our player of the match, I think is the other. We'll just see exactly in a moment. So, yes, Garnacho just making his way off the field. McTominay has picked up a knock, so he's had to come off as a consequence. And it means Mason Mount and Victor Lindelof are on for McTominay and Garnacho. Okay, and here's Gvardiol now. Gvardiol down to Doku. Doku cutting across from Wan-Bissaka, gives the ball to Alvarez. He plays it to the edge of the area, but nobody is there except Kobbie Mainoo. And away now is Rasmus Højlund. He drops the ball back there. And to Amrabat, and Amrabat drops the ball back to Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka goes all the way back to Victor Lindelof, and then to Andre Onana. Onana clears the ball downfield, and the head is on by Kyle Walker, and Phil Foden trying to nip in there, but that's a really good challenge by Wan-Bissaka. And here is Fernandez. Fernandez trying to catch Ortega off his line. But it goes behind for a goal kick. And we've had 4 minutes of stoppage time. And it is still Manchester United 2-1 up in this Manchester derby in the FA Cup final of 2024. And we really have been treated to a wonderful final. And here is Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball to Akanji. Akanji across to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker back to Akanji as City now piling pressure on, looking for that equalising goal. And the ball is played down this left-hand side to Jeremy Doku. 8 minutes of stoppage time being played in the Old Firm clash for the Scottish Cup. Gvardiol drops it back to Akanji. It's now with Kyle Walker. Walker to Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva gets back to the edge of the penalty area, the corner of the penalty area, and swings across in, but it's blocked and breaks loose to Manuel Akanji. Here's Gvardiol. Time running out for Manchester City. Only 2 more minutes for Manchester United to hold on. And here's Bernardo Silva now, making his dash down the right-hand side, tries to get the cross in. It's blocked by Diogo Dalot and goes behind for a corner. And there has been a goal in injury time in the Scottish Cup final. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Rangers 0, Celtic 1 in the Scottish Cup final. In injury time, it looks like they are going to take the player of the match. It looks like they're going to take the Scottish trophy as well, away from their old third rivals. As Celtic have taken the lead in the Scottish Cup final. Manchester United fans now starting the celebrations. Are they premature? Will City get back into it, or can Manchester United hold on and win the FA Cup for the first time since 2016? And here is Gavardio. Gavardio gives the ball to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker inside the centre circle to Gavardio. Gives it to Rodri. Rodri's got Amrabat in front of him. Rodri drops it to Doku, who's been a threat since he's come on. Doku cross to the back post. Just kept in play by Foden. It comes right back there to Walker, who's blocked with his shot, and it's cleared away. And Ida is a Celtic goal scorer. And now here's Rasmus Højlund. Højlund just trying to get away from Julian Alvarez. Amrabat tries to play the ball forward, but it's won back, and it's going to be a free kick. A yellow card has just been flashed in the way of Julian Alvarez, I think. There hasn't been too many bookings in this game. We're just going to take a look. Yes, it was for the challenge on Rasmus Højlund. So Julian Alvarez into the referee's notebook, as we have now completed the 7 minutes of stoppage time in this game, and we are just about done here. And the ball is in the Manchester City half of the field for this free kick, and it's going to be Bruno Fernandes who launches the ball into the corner. It goes out of play for a throw-in, and that's it! It's full time, and Manchester United are the 2024 FA Cup winners, reversing the score from last season to 2-1 in their favour. Goals from Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. A late reply there from Jeremy Doku was not enough. It was too little too late. And Manchester United celebrate an FA Cup victory, and a moment of joy for these fans. That has been a very difficult season, and a moment of joy for Erik ten Hag, who can celebrate now regardless of what his job is next season. It is full time here at Wembley Stadium. It is Manchester City 1, Manchester United 2, and Manchester is red this evening. And back to you, JB.
Brilliant scenes of joy for the red half of Manchester. The fans this season have had to suffer so much. All the joy going to the blue end of Manchester. They were heartbroken. There were tears last year of sadness for Manchester United. This year, tears of joy. And they deserved it. They had to hang on there when Doku pulled one back with 3 minutes to go. But Manchester United showed the famous fighting spirit that they showed in Ferguson's era. And Pep Guardiola beaten for the first time as a manager at Wembley. You cannot write the script for this. They're still playing in the Scottish Cup final, incidentally. There are 2 minutes to play in that one. Ania's goal into the first minute of stoppage time looks like winning Celtic the cup against Rangers. But look at the scenes. It's all red tonight. They've seen the title go the other side of Manchester. Last year they had to sit and watch Manchester United as the European Cup was won by Manchester City. And now they have gained revenge from 12 months ago. They finished way behind in the league. But in the FA Cup, Paul James, if you're still with me, they've had to really do it the hard way. They've really had to do it the hard way, because they were in trouble against Newport. They were in trouble against Liverpool in the quarterfinals. They were certainly in trouble in the semi-finals against Coventry, and could so easily have lost that on a VAR if the VAR decision had gone the other way. But today, when they had to show fight and when they had to show commitment, they showed it in abundance and some.
Absolutely, they were fantastic today. Defended so well in the first half, and defended well in the second half, countering Manchester City on the break, creating chances and scoring goals that could have been 3-1 had the run by Garnacho been delayed a second or two. But Manchester United today can be very proud of their performance, and just for once this season, Manchester United fans can unite behind this club and celebrate a huge victory, winning the FA Cup over Manchester City, their rivals, turning back the disappointment of last season. What a moment this is for Erik ten Hag as well. What a moment. He can walk out of Manchester with his head held high if it comes to that. But what a wonderful, wonderful job by Manchester United today.
And the last time, and it's the first time in 8 years since they've won the famous old cup. Of course, they've won a couple of League Cups and the Europa League, of course, under Jose Mourinho, and of course they won the League Cup last season under Ten Hag. That's his second trophy. Could well be his last trophy, but you look. I mean, let's look at it hypothetically, Paul. 1990, Sir Alex Ferguson's job was on the line. Mark Robins saved him skin in the third round, and then obviously they had to beat Crystal Palace after a replay. Lee Martin, in a lot of respects, saved his job, and they went on to dominate English football a few years later. Do you see parallels with that, or as Pep Guardiola argues still with the referee? I don't know why he's arguing, because Manchester City have been well and truly beaten today, despite a rally in the second half. Guardiola can complain all he wants, but he's got no cause to. United were worthy winners. But let's go back to the question. Do you think, do United fans now give Ten Hag a little bit of grace now? Going to give him next season to try and get things right and get them a bit further up the Premier League, maybe top four? Maybe they're not ready to win the Premier League just yet, but it took Ferguson after that cup win 3 years to win the top flight. Do you see parallels with that, or do you think Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers have seen enough and will still fire him regardless?
Well, it's difficult to say. I mean, I think I don't see parallels right now with this Manchester United team. They played very well today. They've done a very, very good job. But there's a toxicity at Old Trafford, and there has been for a long time. I think whoever is the manager next season, and I think Erik ten Hag should be given the job, but I think they should say to Erik ten Hag, you bring in the players that you want to bring in, and then they need to have a clear out at Old Trafford and bring in the players that want to wear that red shirt, that are going to give 100% for that red shirt. I think that needs to happen before United can even consider challenging their rivals for the Premier League title. There needs to be a clear out, and I think Erik ten Hag is a great manager. If they do sack him, you know what? He'll find a job elsewhere. He's not going to have any trouble finding work. And then the cycle will begin again if they continue with these players. But they have done very well today. I've got to give them their credit. They've been amazing today. But if you look at it over the context of the season, there's been a lack of commitment at Old Trafford this season, I think.
Absolutely. Just to kick off the conversation for a second, Paul, the whistle's just gone after 100 minutes in the Scottish final, and Celtic win the double. They've won the Scottish Cup by 1-0. Rangers will feel a little hard done by that. Their goal was disallowed by Seamer, had a goal disallowed during the second half. But Celtic have held on, but there will be a little bit of uproar in the blue half of Glasgow tonight. But it's Celtic's Scottish Cup, and it's definitely Manchester United's FA Cup this year as well. But Kevin De Bruyne, that's a nice touch. A loser, but he's posing for selfies with the fans. Now, let's just look. I mean, we just saw Pep Guardiola there on TV complaining to the referee. Has he got cause to complain about a couple of decisions that may have gone against Manchester City? And looking at the broader picture, is this a reality check for Manchester City? I mean, won the league last year. They've had so many good times. Is this a reality check as well in the grand scheme of things for Manchester City? Just to prove that sometimes in football, they don't always get things all their own way.
Well, this is true. Yeah, and it is a reality check. As for whether or not, I suspect he's complaining about the challenge on Haaland earlier on, which could have been given as a penalty. And my thought on it was is that he had his. I want to say it was Wan-Bissaka. I can't quite remember, but he had his hand over him and he pulled him down. In my opinion, he could have easily been given.
Well, I can tell you, I was also listening to the TV guys, and Ali McCoy reckoned it wasn't a penalty. I can't obviously make a call on it as I'm presenter. I'm in your camp a little bit. Sinham Gibbon, category of Sinham Gibbon. It's hard to say, but having said that, though, I don't think in the grand scheme of things he could complain too much with the result. I think Manchester United wanted it more on the day.
Yeah, I agree with that. City were playing their usual style of, tic-tac-toe football, patient build-up. They were caught on the break. They were caught cold on the break. It was an error by Gvardiol to begin with. There was obviously, and you can share the blame with Ortega and Gvardiol. There was obviously no communication. That let Manchester United in. Manchester United kept playing the ball over the top, and they were catching Manchester City out. They could have gone 2-0 up with the offside, with the goal that was offside. It was offside. Garnacho just went a couple of seconds early, but also they were caught out again for the third goal. So they were caught out with Manchester City today on a couple of different occasions. The creativity and the final ball wasn't totally there for City today. I think Manchester United are worthy victors today, and I think that this is a moment that they can celebrate and enjoy, because goodness me, they've had precious few to enjoy this season.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much for your contribution. Of course, you've got the presentation to do. Whilst we're waiting for the presentation to happen here at Wembley, let me just bring you up to date with the Champions Cup rugby, because it's all been happening across the way at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Leinster 15, Toulouse 25. They're into extra time there. And Richie Arnold has been sent off in that final for Toulouse. It's been absolutely superb final. Plenty of penalties. Toulouse obviously 10 points ahead in that extra time period. Of course, it's 10 minutes either way in rugby union, so still time for Leinster to get it back. But it's all happening in that Champions Cup final. In the Monaco Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc has taken pole position for tomorrow's Grand Prix from McLaren's champion Max Verstappen in his Red Bull could only manage 6 on the grid after hitting the wall at the first corner on his final flying lap. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz finished third, ahead of McLaren's Lando Norris. Mercedes' George Russell, who finished fifth. Teammate Lewis Hamilton finished 7th. That's the view from the Monaco Grand Prix. In the cricket, England in complete control of that T20 match at Edgbaston. England, after 20 overs, made 183 for 7 after 20. Pakistan need 99 to win, but they're currently on 85 for 4 after half their overs, or after almost 11 overs gone at Edgbaston. They need another 99 to win with just 6 wickets in hand. Rashid has hit 2 wickets as well. Let's just go through the Pakistan innings at the moment as it stands. Rizwan bowled Ali, caught Livingston for 0 from 3 balls. Arub caught Salt, bowled Topley for 2. Babar Azam, LBW for 32 off Ali on 26 deliveries. Zaman still not out on 39 off 18. He's hit 2 sixes there. Shadi Khan caught Jordan bowled Rashid for 3 from 4 deliveries. Azim Khan not out 10. He's hit a couple of boundaries. 3 extras, 3 wides, 89 for 4. The bowling figures at the moment: Ali, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 26. Topley, 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 23. Jofra Archer has only bowled the 1 over, but he's gone for 15 from no wickets. Jordan has had 2 overs, none for 18. And Rashid, 2 overs, 1 for 7. So England on top, you feel, in the 2020 International at Edgbaston. In the Women's Champions League, they've just kicked off there. 9 minutes gone between Barcelona and Lyon in the Women's Champions League final in San Mamés Barria. It's 0-0 at the moment. Of course, Barcelona. Of course, Chelsea were beaten by Barcelona in that semi-final, denying Emirates an opportunity to go out in style. In the county championship, Hampshire leads Surrey by 244 with 6 wickets remaining. And of course, Lancashire as well. We'll have a look at Lancashire as well in the county championship before the end of the programme, because a few of you are Lancastrians as well. Let's just check the scores there. So Lancashire, Warwickshire in their first innings. This is at Old Trafford. Made 284 all out as Manchester City begin their World Cup. Lancashire, in reply, have already lost Wells for naught of 2 balls. So 4 for 1. Remember, replying to 284 all out for Warwickshire. That's in the county championship. Meanwhile, back in the FA Cup final, the losers go up first, as it always tradition in the FA Cup final. Well, it's not tradition, because up until the early 90s, it used to be the winners that went up first and received the trophy, then the losers. But now it's the losers that go up first, led of course by their charismatic manager Pep Guardiola. Kyle Walker, their captain for the day, will not be lifting the FA Cup, just like they did last season. Kevin De Bruyne there. Rodri has lost again now. A competitive game with Manchester City. And it's really a shame. I just want to make the point before I hand over to Paul for the presentation, as Pep Guardiola gets his loser's medal. I am very disappointed with the Manchester City fans. Why didn't they just stay there and clap the team up the 107 steps? That really annoys me, when the losing set of fans completely and utterly decide to leave. Really want to stay behind, applaud your team up the stairs, whether you win or lose. That's what a Wembley final should be all about. Anyway, a lot of from me. Let me hand over to Paul James for the presentation. Paul, over to you.
Cheers, JB. Thank you. As yes, the Manchester City players are going up and collecting their runners-up medals right now. Pep Guardiola is shaking the hands of Prince William and Prince George, as Manchester City will look at this as a disappointment. But they've still won the league, and they've won the league for the 4th year in a row. So Manchester City have broken a record. They've done a wonderful job this season. They still look like they could dominate next season as well. So Phil Foden shaking hands with some of the fans as well, as Prince William continues to hand out the medals to the Manchester City players. Football fan himself, Prince William, of course. As the Manchester United players will be ready to take those steps in a few moments to collect the FA Cup. It's the first time since 2016 when they beat Crystal Palace. As there's Ederson there, who wasn't available to play today due to injury. As he shakes the hand of the dignitaries. And Jack Grealish also taking time to shake hands and have a quick word with people as well, showing his class. Jack Grealish, he really is a classy guy, although he's on the end today of a defeat. Manchester City will come back next season. Stefan Ortega there. I wonder whether he'll be taking a long look at himself after today. And on the whole, he's a very stellar goalkeeper. And it's unfortunate that this error should come about today. Now for Manchester United, as they will begin to take the stairs, Alex Ferguson with a great big smile on his face. And this must bring back memories for him. As Manchester United now being led by their captain Bruno Fernandes, and that's a nice show of class from the Manchester City players, lining up and clapping the winners there, as Erik ten Hag, a big smile on his face as he leads his team up the Wembley steps to pick up the famous old trophy. As what a game and a performance and a tactical performance that Erik ten Hag has put on today as well. And he can feel very, very adjudicated at his performance today. He can walk away from this job if it has to be that way, and he can maybe take a break or go into another position. But Erik ten Hag, in my opinion, is an excellent manager, and he just hasn't had it the way that he wanted it at Old Trafford. I'm certain he would have wanted to bring in some players of his own. Perhaps he wasn't able to do that. But today is a day to smile for him, as the United players now going up the steps. Just holding up there, Erik ten Hag is just waiting there at the gate. They're just not quite ready with the trophy as of yet. Kobbie Mainoo high-fiving some of the supporters on that side. He'll be looking at a position in the England squad for the forthcoming European Championships as well. Finally, the gate is open, and Erik ten Hag and the Manchester United team going up the steps now. The final row of steps to pick up the trophy, as Erik ten Hag shaking the hands of the dignitaries and royalty there as well. What a day this is for Manchester United fans. A moment now to savour, as finally, after such a while, they finally get one over on their city rivals. As there's Amad Diallo, not able to make an appearance today, but he's a very talented young footballer. There's Erik ten Hag shaking hands, and Rafael Varane collecting their winners' medals, as medals being handed over by Prince William. And you see in the background there Christian Eriksen as well, as he's handed his medal. And Victor Lindelof, who when he came on in the second half looked very, very good, steady defensively, and helped see out this lead for Manchester United. As now Bruno Fernandes, the captain, he's the one that will lift that famous old trophy. As Manchester United on the gantry there's the substitute goalkeeper, Altay Bayindir. He hasn't had much this season to go with. He's been in a few FA Cup ties and some League Cup ties, but he really hasn't had the opportunity much this season. But he's a fine goalkeeper. There's Casemiro, did not make the squad at all today, as Bruno Fernandes shaking the hands of the dignitaries. As the photograph there, Garnacho, there's Kobbie Mainoo kissing their medals there. Very, very pleased. It's a wonderful day for these Manchester United players. As Rasmus Højlund having a quick word with Prince William, as we are waiting for that famous trophy to be presented to the skipper of Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes. As it... you see there Scott McTominay, who again was really good today. Now Prince William hands the trophy to Bruno Fernandes. The city of Manchester is red this evening as Manchester United lift the FA Cup of 2024. Bruno Fernandes kisses the trophy, lifted aloft in the air, and Manchester United are celebrating this evening. And they'll be celebrating long into the night as a trophy is lifted again by Bruno Fernandes. He hands it to Diogo Dalot, who in turn will hand it to Garnacho, as the Manchester United team just celebrating this moment. They can enjoy this moment. They qualify for the Europa League for next season along with Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea will go into the Conference League, and of course City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Aston Villa will go into the Champions League, as Altay Bayindir lifts the trophy. And Alex Ferguson, well, you can't take the smile off his face, can you? It's a great moment for him. It must bring back some wonderful memories. As Serge Martinez just lifts the trophy, celebrating big time there. He's already been a World Cup winner, and he hands the trophy there to Christian Eriksen, and of course Martinez will join up with the Argentinian squad for the Copa America next month, and maybe looking at more silverware there, as the trophy is handed to Victor Lindelof from Mason Mount. Victor Lindelof lifts up the trophy, and it will be handed finally to Aaron Wan-Bissaka and then to the goalkeeper Andre Onana, as we look at these Manchester United fans and that young man on his father's shoulders there, will remember this day for the rest of his life, as finally the trophy is handed to Erik ten Hag. He kisses that famous old trophy and lifts it up in the air, and he has an end to what has been a very difficult season, a very happy ending for him. And Manchester United now will take the trophy down the steps and will, of course, have the usual and traditional team photo taken with the cup. So Manchester United fans all on their feet, as JB alluded to earlier. A lot of the City fans have left, which is disappointing, not to see their team go up and collect their medals. But Manchester United now just go down the steps and go to have their photo taken. And JB, what a moment this is for these Manchester United players.
It is. It was a fantastic moment. And before we go, Paul James, I knew this was going to be a tough assignment for you. You were dead nervous at the start, or you were dead nervous before the start. Can I just say, to replace me as cup final commentator is big shoes to fill. You have filled them 10 times over, mate. You did a magnificent job. Your commentary was excellent. You were pinpointed on everything. A very big well done to you. I feel that the master has been mastered by you. Can I just tell you that?
Thank you, JB.
I don't wish to big head you before the Euros, but you've been superb. You go and have a lie down. I'm going to wrap the programme up, but you need a lie down. You're covering the prior final tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. The playoff final, Leeds and Southampton. Looking forward to that one, actually.
Yeah, and you can hear that with Paul. Thanks, Paul, for your contributions today. You can hear
Thanks, JB.
You can hear that match tomorrow. £150 million at stake for the winner. It's winner takes all at Wembley tomorrow in the Championship playoff final. Two great names of English football, Premier League regulars for so many years. It will be Leeds United or Southampton. You'll be able to find out tomorrow afternoon from 2:50 with Paul. And then, of course, we'll have the European Cup final. And, of course, we'll also bring you the Euro. Well, I won't be bringing you the Euros, but I'm sure Paul, Russ, Mike, Nicholas, and a lot of other people. Jack Hessen's going to be on the team for the European Championships. Remember, we have comprehensive commentaries on most of the matches from the 14th of June. And we start with the big one, the opener. Germany against Scotland. It should be an absolute thriller. Hopefully Scott McTominay will be fit enough to join the Scotland squad. He did limp off during today's cup final. Let's hope he's fit enough to start that match on June the 14th. So lots of good commentaries for you to look forward to this summer. That's it from me until August. I'm gonna now sit up, put my feet up for the summer and watch England hopefully win the Euros like the rest of you, and leave everybody, and wish Paul, Russ, Mike, Nicholas and everybody at the TCM to have a really good tournament. And I will be listening from afar. But today, 12 months ago, it was blue. It was blue heaven for Manchester City. 12 months on, it's red heaven for Manchester United. They have made up for their poor performance in the league by winning the FA Cup. And who knows, it might, just might, save Erik ten Hag's job. That remains to be seen. But for now, it's nothing but pure, unadulterated celebrations for Manchester United, who have beaten Manchester City at Wembley to win the FA Cup final. Just to remind everybody that Celtic have won the Scottish Cup in Scotland. Pakistan are 100 for 6, and Leinster now trail 14-man trailers by 3 points in the rugby. But here at Wembley Stadium, it's Manchester United's day. They are the pride of Manchester. From us all here, goodbye.